And just like that, we are live again. It's been a week, I think, but I don't know, it feels like longer, but it's good to be on the other end of the stream again. I've been watching a lot of other streams. A lot of people have actually been streaming a lot of my YouTube poops on their broadcasts, which is, it's really cool to see. I love it when people put that kind of thing on their own streams. But also, I just love it when, people do streams like that, because if you're gonna, stream YouTube poop creation, or not YouTube poop creation, but, stream YouTube poops in general, I think it's really awesome. It introduces a lot of people to the medium, and overall, it's a great way to get them, it's a great way to get them really into it. And if they want to be creators, that's fantastic. But either way, I love it when that happens. So, what is going down, Galestrom? First in the room, my man. And thank you so much. I'm glad you loved the most recent output that I've got. I absolutely loved making coffee, and took some months before it came together. But I think that things are going to be a little more easy to come together from now on. And what is going down? Mini-colored journal. I love that you are right on. Bring me some source and I'll make a magic idea. And I'll make a magic idea flood. Well, we're continuing with Beyblade, but I think I might just be able to switch it up next week, depending. And I say that because when I finish a video, I start work on another one immediately. I don't take a break. So I began a new video once I finished the Johnny Lonnie YouTube poop. I've got I've got a few jokes in it already, and it is a source that comes from YouTube. It is similar to Beyblade. I'll just say that. That's all I'm going to say. I might be streaming it depending on what goes down. Saw your title and had to step in to say lies. Let It Rip is absolutely for farts. I think that it's too easy to make a fart joke. It really is too easy to make a fart joke. And I mean, I know I've got to do it. I've got to make the fart joke, but I don't know the best way to do it. But I guess we'll have to figure it out. Oh, yeah. Oh, you were the first in the room, Journal. Either way, it's good to see you in the room. I mean, it's not a race, is it? If it's a race, is there prizes? Is there first, second, and third? Well, either way, it's good to have you in. So this stream, and keep in mind, when I started streaming the Beyblade creation, I think it was March when I first streamed it, and we tackled the first part of the episode where they're doing the battle right in the arena. We are introduced to Kenta. So this is before anything Jinka arrives. We're just being shown our protagonist and his friends and what he's doing, his Beyblade, everything. I'm thinking we return to that because we've gotten a lot of great jokes done in the middle portions of the episode, and we are going to return to the middle portions. But what I used to do is tackle everything in order, and this is like going all the way back to 09, 2010, all the way up to 2012. Even with the Digimon poop, I tackled every part of the source in the order, and it's something that I think slowed me down, but I think I need to fill in some gaps because we've done a lot of stuff in the middle. I think I want to just bring it all back to the beginning. Did you end up using the sketch, by the way? So I haven't done anything with the sketch. Oh my god, I gotta show you the sketch. Hang on, guys. This is wicked awesome. So Galestrom did this fantastic. Hang on, un momento. Let's see. Actually, I think I already downloaded it. Hang on, un momento. Let me just pop open my files. You've got to see what he did. It is fantastic. But either way, let's see. I want to go. Here we go. Yo, check this out. Galestrom in chat did this. Now, the similarity pretty uncanny, would you say? Obviously, the hair is a lot shorter, but still, well, the hair was a lot longer weeks ago when they started this, but still, this is incredible. I can't thank you enough, Galestrom. This is an incredible sketch that you did. And, I will be, of course, putting it on social medias. I've actually, speaking of social media, I'm trying to determine whether or not it's worth to get a Threads account. But either way, I mean, I'm using my Twitter for, less and less. I opened it initially for ship posting. That's what I call ship posting. And, it's just become it's become really, really hard to go onto that app and just feel good nowadays. I mean, I'm not saying that pre-Elon Musk times were really good, but either way, it just feels like it's gotten worse. But yeah, that's so wicked good, Galestrom. Kenta and Jenga have the opposite problems. Jenga is too perfect, but Kenta is too annoying. I think everybody in this show has some degree of annoying in them. And with Kenta, I mean, you have the childish voice. With Jenga, you've got this, it's too perfect. I mean, he does lose. Like I said, he does lose one match, which is in an episode I haven't seen yet, because I think it's like in the 20s or 30s or something like that. I'm not going that far, but I know that there is an episode where he does actually lose, kind of like how Yugi loses in one episode of Yu-Gi-Oh, and it just made the rounds. Oh man, I don't want to miss the stream. No, you're not going to miss the stream, Fartsmone. Welcome in. Yeah. Oh man, you might have de-animated yourself. You should make an edit to it with your new style. I mean, I don't know. I mean, one thing, my hair grows fast. I think that if you give it time, my hair is going to return to what it once was in its perfectly unmanageable self. But I have a job where I have to face people, and that often means that I have to keep my hair well kept. It means that I have to use product, and when I use product, when my hair is longer, I have to use more and more of it. When it's shorter, that makes it easier. But like I said, it'll grow fast. You'll see me looking like that again in no time. My wife likes it too. She loves it, the long hair look, and she's always so mournful whenever when I return from a cut, and it just doesn't live up. And that's not to say that she doesn't like me short-haired, but the long-haired me is, I think it's just me a little bit more. Still, did you know that there is a Beatles cartoon that airs on ABC? I did not know that. I know that there were a few Beatles cartoons, weren't there? But is it the current is there a current Beatles cartoon? Is it airing on ABC right now? I haven't really seen a lot of television. I mean, to be fair, I only just finished Better Call Saul, but I don't want to start another show. I don't even want to pick up another show where I left off, except for Kaguya-sama Love is War, because A, I really want to, get back into anime, but also B, I think fans of Schaefer-Ellis Productions already know this, but Schaefer-Ellis has started a brand new collab of a specific episode of Kaguya-sama Love is War. More specifically, it's a season 3 episode that involves a rap battle. Now, first things first, Kaguya-sama Love is War, fantastic show. It's a very funny, extremely well written, very well animated, and I can't stress enough. It's a must watch. I would say you should just hop on whatever. I think it's on Hulu, if memory serves. It's on Hulu. If you've got Hulu, watch it. It's got dub and sub, whatever you like. You will love this show. It is a fantastic show that I could talk about it all day, but I'm getting to season 3. I'm still working on it, but oh man, Fujiwara is just so funny, and the voice actor for Fujiwara is fantastic. Reminds me a lot of the voice actress from XL Saga. 3 months. Oh, it's a really old cartoon. Okay, it's an old cartoon. Okay, well, I guess I better get to watching it. I guess I don't have to worry about starting something. Oh man, It's like the opposite problem of Ash losing too much sometimes. Oh my gosh, I remember when Ash lost so frequently in the Pokemon cartoon. I think that's what made him so relatable. Ash wasn't a perfect trainer, and I feel like nowadays you see so many anime that swap the Ash was not perfect. Gary was built up to be perfect. I'm sure Gary lost quite a bit, but Ash was just so much more personable. He was imperfect. He was late to getting his Pokemon, and his relationship with Pikachu was sour at best at first, and then he just grew and he learned, and in addition, he became a fantastic Pokemon trainer. I love the way that the anime tells his story, and overall, I mean, more shows should really do that. More shows should take that Ash approach rather than the Yu-Gi-Oh approach or even the Beyblade approach. But yeah, I mean, I remember when Ash would, battle and he would win, I would feel good. I mean, I felt awesome when Ash won a battle. When he lost, I mean, oh man, I guess he's gonna learn and come back. Like, I remember very early on, you had the Lieutenant Surge episode and the Brock episode where he lost, but he came back with Pikachu and bested them. That is really good. Let it rip is a fart joke to me since oh my god, you have a fart scat fetish. Ooh woo. Well, Roosta, thank you so much for hopping on. Maybe a little too much TMI, but still. Yeah, Ash wasn't perfect, but he did go through great journeys. Absolutely. I'm going to see if I can, because I'm using my phone now to read the chat to ease up on the CPU that my computer uses. That way I don't have to have YouTube going on in 2 windows. But it's fantastic. What is a movie you originally didn't like but started liking more later on? What is a movie that I initially didn't like but started liking more later on? I'm going to say Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I was a huge huge, and when I say huge, I was just nearly obsessed with Harry Potter in the 2000s. I loved the first 2 movies. I saw the third in theaters, and my first thought was, this is nothing like the book. And then, as I rewatched it, I began to appreciate more and more of the subtleties, of the different ways that the characters were fleshed out into, like the teenagers more specifically, that the characters began to act more and more like teenagers, which, quite frankly, they were at that point. And just the getting in line for Defense Against the Dark Arts and pushing everybody back, all those tiny little things that Alfonso Cuarón added, it really made the film better. And I wish I appreciated it a little bit more when I was younger. I was just so focused on them trying to be a perfect replica of the books at the time. So I would say, yeah, Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban. I think it's in the top 2, maybe top 3 of Harry Potter films, undeniably. Hey, what's going on, Fidget? Glad to see you on the stream. I'm so glad that you were able to catch it. Well, we're going to be handling some Beyblade material, but I'm so glad that you hopped on. As soon as we get started, I mean, keep in mind that this is a very, very open stream, so you can offer up your ideas. We're going to be showing you a lot of what happens in this episode from the very beginning on this stream. So if you didn't get the chance to offer up any ideas when I first streamed this, now's your chance. But thank you so much for hopping on in. Yeah, absolutely. I just remember there was one panned moment in the X and Y anime where in the context where he lost, it was seen as inappropriate. I don't think I've seen any part of the X and Y anime. So for context, I stopped watching Pokemon after the Ash versus Gary battle, which was hyped a lot, and for good reason, because at the very beginning of the show, you had this incredible rivalry between Ash and Gary, and it lasted for so long. And the show, of course, had this, it was ongoing through several seasons of the show, and then finally, Ash faces off against him. And we get to see the Pokemon that Gary picked out at the very start of the show, and he goes up against Charizard. And it was a Blastoise, of course, and of course, in the game, if you choose Charizard, Gary picks the or if you choose Charmander, Gary picks the Squirtle. It's designed so that whatever Pokemon you pick, Gary chooses the one that tops it as far as weaknesses wise. But it was a fantastic conclusion, I thought, to that whole saga, that whole rivalry. I haven't really seen anything beyond it, so I've not delved into X and Y. I have not delved into the Alola versions or anything else, but I do know that they have technically kind of retired Ash, so I'm curious to see what fans think of the new iterations. Ordered some Domino's for the live. I love it. So there's a Domino's. You got Papa John's near me. I will always be a fan of the local pizza because, I'm in New Jersey, and I hate to brag, but New Jersey pizza is the best. Good New Jersey pizza is the best because we've got some of the thinnest crust, but it's not too thin where you just feel like you're eating a cracker or something like that. It is so delicious. You have the right amount of cheese. And in addition to that, you have that foldable quality that you always see from a certain Brooklyn pizzeria. But I don't know, New Jersey pizza is great. When you find a great pizzeria, that is. If you fall upon a not so great New Jersey pizzeria, well, then it's just like any other pizza that you find in the country. But if you come to New Jersey, you will love the pizza. It doesn't matter where you are, if there's a place that's dedicated to great pizza in New Jersey, because there's so much diversity in the state, you will absolutely have no problem if you know where to look. But Domino's, I will usually get a pan from Domino's. I don't know, I just feel like their pans are much better than their, the soft crust ones. Either way. Hey, don't worry about being late, Roosta. Glad you can make it. And I have it in the pizza. One of them is a vegetarian in honor. Yeah, that's right. I am a vegetarian, and you know what? It doesn't matter if you eat meat. I mean, you're fine. Don't worry about it. I have, keep in mind, a lot of members of my family immediate family are not vegetarian. They will still eat meat, but I mean, it's not like I'm going to be intolerant of eating meat. But I will say that if you do try a vegetarian pizza, there's just a simple tomatoes, spinach pizza is great. Keeps it honest. And of course, the original pizzas, the Naples pizzas, margarita pizzas, they're vegetarian technically. It's no meat on them, or most of them at the very least. My favorite starter is Decidueye. Ooh, Decidueye. So I'm guessing you're talking about Pokemon in general. So when I grew up with the red version, I mean, I almost always got the Bulbasaur because, I don't know, I just liked Venusaur at the end. It was such a cool looking Pokemon, like a dinosaur with a plant on top of it. I mean, Blastoise also looked cool. Charizard was a freaking dragon, but I don't know, Venusaur. Everything XY onward is hazy to me. Yeah, I think that, they're going to really need to pick up a lot of the slack in order to regain a lot of that, a lot of the enthusiasm that there was when Ash was the main trainer. I don't know who is the main trainer for the new series. I don't know who they're replacing it with, but either way, I hope that the Pokemon, show keeps its par of quality. The Pokemon games, they improve. I'm really looking for an improved Pokemon series for sure. All right, let's take a look at what we've got here. So I have, let's see. Oh, my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon is Tentacruel. Oh, yeah, Tentacruel. I forgot about Tentacruel. Tentacruel was a really good Pokemon. As far as water types, I almost always did, either a Tentacruel or I tried, what did I do? I think I did Seal and Dugong, if memory serves, because once you just got the Seal and Dugong, I don't know, something about Seal and Dugong. All right, let's tackle this from the very start. So the reason why this is so chopped up, usually when I put the source into the timeline, as you've probably seen time and time again, is I like to cut a whole bunch of stuff and move it to where I have the chief editing going on, so it looks like Swiss cheese almost all the time. And I'm gonna try and, use copy instead of cut here. Type O blood, so I don't do well on pure vegetarian. Oof, and you get headaches. But I would love to crave more veggies. I did not know that type O blood had that problem. I'm O positive. Is it all type O's? That's interesting. I almost never felt something. I mean, keep in mind, I converted to vegetarianism, and this was like 8 years ago or so, but I thought that it was just a matter of, swapping. But, pescatarianism is really popular for a lot of people who can't give up fish. I know it's really popular in Japan because, fish are everywhere, but I guess that's a good start. Yep, I hope I'm grouping those bits. Don't you worry, I am going to be grouping the bits. So, now one thing that I need to figure out is what is this font? Because I think that the obvious joke here, sus has landed, is such a, it's an obvious joke, but I want to get it out of the way. Obvious, like letter ripping a fart joke. We'll find a place for it. I promise you, we will find a place for a let it rip fart joke. Now, again, this is the first episode, so they're just showing you things that, you would assume, that the show assumes you've never seen. That's probably just something with me, can't say what.
Don't be so sure of yourself. Come on, hit him back.
But look, I'm just glad that, just glad that you're helping me, man. Now let me show you one real quick joke that I did do. Keep in mind that one of the things that the announcer at the beginning says is, the WBB8. So BB8, what I'm trying to do is figure out how I can integrate BB8 here, because it's such an easy thing to go for. You gotta hear, this is why I advocate for headphones. Like when you have headphones on, you hear things a lot better in the sources that you're using. And well, also you want to have headphones for a stream, of course. But tiny little things, when you listen for them, it's easier with headphones than it is with regular computer speakers. So,
what a day of Beyblading it has been here.
Now, if we can just figure out how to integrate BB8.
BB8.
See, it sounds exactly like BB8.
BB8.
We can figure that out, then we have ourselves a great little simple sentence splice. Translating that 5 times fast. This is dumb, but first thought of wine glasses clinking together, replacing the intense smashing together of the Beyblades. Oh, right, that reminds me. I've got to pull up my 4K video downloader. Let's see what kind of, wine glasses clinking. That's a good thought. Lightsabers coming together, that's another good thought. So I think that there are a mix of sounds that we can use for this. Let's take a look. And I'm going to have to pop onto YouTube in order to look everything up. So I'm going to put it in here to see if it just keeps the CPU lower. That's one thing I've been trying to work on, because sometimes in these streams, you see a little bit of a lag or a choppiness. I'm trying, I promise you, to keep that fixed. For the most part, if we keep YouTube off for some of the runtime, we'll be a-okay. But wine glasses clinking, that's a great sound effect. Lightsabers, whatever else that we can think of. So just a simple wine glass clink sound effect. And we will, I think that, YouTube is just so chock full of sound effects. And I've said this before in another stream. Another place that you can look is the Free Sound Project. In fact, might as well show you the Free Sound Project on a future stream, because I have to renew. I don't even know how much the site has changed. Let's just look at some glass clinking sound effects. This would be pretty simple. It's a pretty soft glass clink. And let's try this one. it's a very soft sound. If I want to add any of those, I'll probably need to spike the volume a little bit. A little late. Oh, no worries on being late, Mr. Springfield. Welcome, 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 welcome to the stream. Thank God for glottal stops. Absolutely. Finally caught the stream. He spent 4 months ago making YouTube poop and still. He spent 4 months ago making YouTube poop and still living to this day. Great entertainer. Well, thank you so much, Blizzside. 4 months. Did I start streaming 4 months ago? 5 months ago, but still. And obviously making YouTube poop for longer than that. But I mean, it's been suggested before that I should do a stream, and you know, I'm really, really enjoying it. So here's to more to come. Glad you were able to join this one. All right, let's see what kind of wine glass clinking sound effect we have on this one. Well, we got several wine glasses. You know what? I'm going to choose this video. I'm sure that there is one that we can pull from our lot and use in this instance. So let's just choose a low-res download of the wine glasses clinking. Make sure that it's not going into the DLAM folder. DLAM stood for Don't Look at Me, which was the last poop. I hope you loved the last two poops, by the way. The coffee YouTube poop and the Johnny Lonnie YouTube poop. Thank you so much for sticking around on the streams that I made them on. The coffee one, I remember starting as, it was the second stream that I had ever done. I think it was all the way back in February. And it's good to see that finished. So let's go to Beyblade and save this. And now let's go to some other impact sound effects. Lightsaber sound effect. Sound effects clash. That's perfect. Perfect. And the wine glass probably won't work. More conceptually amusing than funny. I mean, it depends on the clink. I mean, it's a good sound effect, like impact kind of sound effect of two things coming together. I'm not going to dismiss it. I think there might be something that can be done with it. Worst case scenario. I mean, look, it's 722 kilobytes. What's the harm in downloading it to find out? You don't know until you try. So let's look at our lightsaber clash sound effects. Excuse me. The cough is getting better. Okay. Lightsaber clash test with sound. This might have the sound effect just for... Yes. That's exactly what I was looking for. Just a simple lightsaber sound effect, the clash. And what else we can do? Maybe just some sword clashes. I mean, let's check that out. Let's see. So like sword clash sound effect. Oh god, the Jonathan Mary Poppins moment was just pure genius. The presence of the Independence Day explosion behind her simultaneously made no sense and perfect sense. Thank you so much. I think that the thing about the Mary Poppins one is that in order to make that joke connect in any way, shape, or form, I needed a very specific sentence mix to really work. That sentence mix being, of course, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, or in this case, supercapafragilisticexpialidocious. And I'm so glad that it did, because holy smokes, that was a really complex sentence mix. But all in all, I think the joke was fantastic. And it's actually, fun fact, it wasn't Independence Day. It was a 2009 Nicolas Cage movie called Knowing, in which, you know, I think that the clip that you saw in the background speaks for itself. It's a disaster movie. And whether or not you like it depends on how much you like Nicolas Cage. A man who will someday win another Oscar. Let's see. Need something that's a lot better than that. You know, it's got to sound like it's a clash. Yes, swoos. I love that sound effect, by the way. That's so perfect. I think when I add those little sound bites, you know, the forward, reverse, the sus type of jokes, I like it when the joke isn't just the sound. Like, I've seen a lot of YouTube poops where the punchline is just sus. It's just sus or something else. and I feel like it misunderstands why the line is so funny nowadays. I mean, keep in mind, you had a lot of people laughing at the concept of sus for a long time, and I think that a lot of people will still find it funny, but I like it when when there's something in addition to that. Like the swoosh sound effect, I first heard it back when, I think it was, Orpheus for the Win was still making YouTube poops, and it was the Skooks series of videos, and you have Shaggy's line, "Watch me swoosh right in." It wasn't just the swoosh that was funny, it was the sequence of him just going in and out of the window that was so, I don't know, I have no idea how he did that. There's some things I absolutely admire from other YouTube poopers, just past and present, and their ability to just make jokes work on a consistent, timely basis. That is one of them, and it's timeless. Like, oh boy, am I glad he's frozen in there. That whole sequence, it became a meme on Tumblr. The frozen in there, the caveman. Where's the caveman? And for good reason. It's the perfect kind of humor for YouTube poops, and when it escapes a YouTube poop, people are just so bewildered by it that it catches on. And that's what I love about this medium so much. Oh man, but the Mary Poppins thing, I just loved doing that. And I don't know why I included the explosions behind her. It just felt right. I mean, sometimes in YouTube poops things just feel right, and that's how I operate. If it feels like it belongs there, if it feels like I should make this edit, then I'm going to go with my gut. Because very often when you laugh, I mean, you're not always immediately clicking on why it's funny. You're just laughing at it. Like, you don't take a pause and think, oh, that's funny, I should laugh. You'll laugh. And that's why the feeling of whether or not something is funny oftentimes supersedes whether it can follow a structure properly. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying that means that all humor is subjective. I'm firmly rooted in the belief that humor is objective. And I say that because the funniest jokes, YouTube poop, otherwise, whether you just tell a knock-knock joke or go to a stand-up comedy show, there's structure to them. You can be taught what clicks. And even studies have shown that certain type of jokes work better than no structure jokes. So that's why I love that's why I loved that swoosh that I added. It worked so well. Did you see my comment? Yes, I did earlier on. Yes, someone could write a college thesis on how the sus reverse went from ubiquitous to annoying to an inside joke that is almost required in poops like the Willem scream. So the use of sus, keep in mind that it's not something that is contained in YouTube poops anymore. Now it's completely blossomed into Among Us memes for obvious reasons. It's a shortened version of suspicious, but the use in YouTube poops, I mean, there are some jokes in YouTube poops that have just lasted the test of time, and sus is one of them when it's done right. There have been some jokes in YouTube poops that have just, I'm going to kind of take you back. 2008, Ouija was a really, really popular GIF to add to a lot of YouTube poops. It was, you could easily pluck it from the internet. It was in a format where all you had to do was put it on top of the video or the image, and you had the background already masked out. And because it was used so often by popular YouTube poopers and because of the funny face, then it often meant automatic laughs. I'm guilty of that, admittedly, because I used it a lot. In fact, I think that one of my jokes in the original Spy Kids relied almost entirely on it. Although I will say that there was at least a joke behind it. But when you lose sight of what made it funny in the first place, then that's when you've really got to reconsider using it at all. Now, The Things obviously uses a lot of sus jokes in her YouTube poops, but she uses them she doesn't use them like sus isn't the punchline for all of them. The punchline is almost always going to be something else. And even then when it's not, there are so many other jokes in the video, like jokes stacked on top of each other, that she does that almost make it irrelevant. So if you're going to use one of those jokes, I mean, think about what makes it funny in the first place. Is there a reason why it's funny? And this also helps you, and by the way, with identifying whether or not something is actually humorous or offensive. Like, there's dark humor, and then there's just flat out offensive. Is there an actual joke behind it? If there is, then that's what makes it dark humor. But if there fails to be a joke, that's a different story. So think about that. If you ever find something online that, you know, doesn't feel right, and chances are, if it still doesn't feel right, then it's just because the joke was not funny enough. Yeah, intelligent stupidity, that's a good word for it. Hey, welcome, Hercules! So glad that you made it. I remember Ouija from stuff like Over 9,000, Faces of Evil, and a couple of other SpongeBob YouTube poops, and it was classic, yeah. So Ouija and, like I was just saying, like Ouija was so popular in those earlier YouTube poop days because, like I said, it was so accessible. But Over 9,000 is another one of those things where it was thrown in order to kind of add like a little cheap joke. And I think that, you know, I still think Over 9,000 is funny, just the way that it's said. But when it's just used with no rhyme or reason, I think it doesn't have an effect. If you watch a lot of YouTube poops from 2007, 2008, then that use the Over 9,000 clip, a lot of them just throw it in without there actually being a joke. The joke is the fact that you know, added it. But even then, I mean, I'm not going to be a police here. I'm not going to say that this is bad because X. If you find something funny, that's great. I just like it when jokes have jokes. That's the best way that I can put it. But enough about me. Let's see what we can find in the swords. In the swords library here. A great anime sword clash. One Piece Zoro. This might be... Oh yeah, that's a great sound effect. Although I will say that sounded almost exactly like what the Beyblades sounded like when they're clashing together. In fact, I wonder if they used that very same sound effect here. So that's that. And it's eerily similar. That's from One Piece. Huh. That's a sword clash sound effect from One Piece. CS 188's At Your Fingertips poop has a sus moment that defines it for me when out of nowhere the boy goes sus and the girl goes haha, very funny in the poop moment. Yes, I love that. You're absolutely right. In fact, that's actually a really good example, Gailstrom. Yeah, that's another great example. Now, I will say that there are sus jokes that have, you know, that work really, really well because, you know, sus is the punchline. I think I mentioned it in another stream before. There's a poop called Only the Brave Can Poop the Kidnapped Princess, something like that. It was made by Insector. And the joke is that you have this depressing moment and a song plays and a character is hanging his head and you're expecting a series of somber lyrics, but the first thing that comes out is sus. That, I think, was fun because, you know, it defied the expectations. Okay, so we have a sword clash sound effect. This one sounds too... Wait, we've got sword clash sound effect. Let's see what we get. Come on, play. Ooh, that's good. That is good. That is good. It is undeniably different from the clashing sound effects. I think that's fun. All right. And the cool thing is I actually pulled the clashing into an earlier part of the video. And oh, by the way, Gailstrom, I think there also might be a way to incorporate the glasses. The glass is clinking. I'll show you as soon as we get to that step. So we have the wine glasses, lightsaber clash, sword clash. And for now, so what I'm thinking, again, kind of going against expectations here, is the kind of joke that I think that we can make. Some of the funniest YouTube poops involve characterization consistency throughout the poop. Like in Skooks, you had Fred as the deranged leader, Shaggy as the animal-loving coward. Yes, give me a hand, Josh Skooks from, I think it was the third one. Yeah, and that's another thing. Orpheus was great at keeping these characters within his own little YouTube poop universe consistent. Not always a necessity. It's not always something that people or creators will do. Okay, let's move this down here. Oops. Let's grab the one little sound bite here. And let's start inserting our sound effects. We're just going to keep one of these original clashes. And let's just... I think there are two. Yeah, let's do the lightsaber. Oops, forgot I had this turned on. Let's do the lightsabers for this one. Oh man, running jokes are great too, as it adds a bit of structure to a poop. Yes, running jokes, absolutely. I think that a lot of people can like confuse sus and other things for running jokes, but either way, I mean, I love it when I'm able to do a callback to a joke from an earlier video. In the coffee video, I thought about bringing back Cruising on Down Main Street from the Twilight YouTube poop, and I eventually realized, you know what? I think the Vanessa Carlton song is great by itself, especially when, I mentioned that one of my favorite parts was the, okay, so I just got back from the big lady. Another one of my favorite, I don't know, it just felt right having the tool chest going down the stairs while she's singing Making My Way Downtown. It just one of those things that felt right. BladeBey, here we go. So, let's see. We got sword clash, lightsaber clash, wine glasses clinking. Let's grab them all. Wine glasses is going to be down at the bottom. I always have these organized alphabetically, although I probably should have these in order from when they were first introduced to the folder. Yeah, that would definitely help. Organize. Yeah, whatever. I know what they're called. I just have to find them. Sword clash and lightsaber. And of course, sword clash is going to be in the S's, and lightsaber is going to be in the L's. We don't have a ton of sources. Let me rephrase. We don't have a ton of sources compared to what I usually do in this folder yet. Usually for something that I make that's 4 minutes long or something, it's just the folders are packed with all sorts of source material that I either incorporate or leave out on the cutting room floor. But here I think that it's not like it takes up a ton of storage. Keep in mind I'm always using a backup hard drive because my computer only has so much on it. Did you see my comment? Yes, I did, Fartsmone. Yes, I did. All right, let's put these into the timeline and just start working with them. So this is the glasses clink one. I'm going to save this one for last. I'm going to do the lightsabers first. Yes. Just the lightsaber sounds by itself. No wavy stuff. Wavy. Get these out of here. Let's put these into the timeline and start on the... Let's see. They collide right here. Right here. So I'm going to just slowly bend them. I'm going to decrease their gain. I love it when sounds that I introduce are on the same level as the sound as the source material. That way there's no burst in the eardrums from a slight difference. So, and then it rapidly comes right back and hits it again. So we're going to put this on this level, and I think the point of impact, it's right here. So let's just line this up and then softly decrease the gain. And it looks like we'll just need to fill this, and I can fill this with that. Great. And let's see how this sounds. We have the initial BladeBey clash. Yeah, that's good. And then they hit each other again right here. So let's get rid of this soundbite. And we need the swords. Ooh, I like that. That's a great build-up. That's a great build-up. And what other sound effects? Like some really impactful sound effects. Whatever we can add. And right here. So we're just going to reuse this. Use this channel right here. Softly. Yeah. I like that. And then we need, let's see. I need one more sound effect, because what I'm going to do is just have a wine glass clink sound effect right here. And let's see, let's just pull from here. Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's good. I don't need the rest of the video. I just need this. Let's do it. Let's cut it out. And then place it right here. Now we just need one more sound effect to fill this space right here for this shot. And we can think of that a little bit later. We're not going to stress on the immediate details. Remember, we've got a lot of opportunities to return to this one little part. Now, one thing that I do have is, let's see, let me just see if I push it all the way up here. One thing I was really tempted to do is revisit the classic deeper cut joke, and I'll show you what it sounds like when Kinta says it. Now, what we can do is we can have his opponent, his head superimposed with Mr. Hawkins' head, and then we can maybe have, I don't know, whoever that lady was over like the loudspeaker or something. It'd be a great joke to revisit. I just love the BladeBey joke. Oh, you got an idea, Hercules. Let's hear it. Cap, how much money do I have to shove in your face to finally fulfill your promise of a code Lyoko poop? No, I am. Believe it or not, Tsuki, first off, thank you so much for joining the stream. Believe it or not, I did start a code Lyoko poop. The problem is I started it on my old hard drive, which crapped out. Now, I can always restart it. In fact, I might actually just go right ahead and restart it. So I already have a lot on the plate, but I am going to get it, because for those of you who don't have the context, back in 2010, when I was putting the projects that I was working on my YouTube channel directly, I had Code Lyoko as one of them. I also had a couple of others, like I think Card Captors was another one, and Card Captor was another one of those cartoons that aired on WB11. It was based off of Card Captor Sakura. But to be honest, I did not see a single episode of that show. I'd only ever seen ads for it on Kids WB at the time. So I don't know what I could have done with it. But I do know that there was a lot of enthusiasm about Code Lyoko, which, you know, was a really weirdly animated show. I think I can I just also want to make sure I have the right episode of it too. The first episode I tried watching, and it doesn't really click with me. I know that there is going to be an episode that does. Like with Game On Part 2, I didn't do the second episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I did an episode much, much further down the timeline because it just clicked with me. The unintentional hilarity of the whole situation in that particular episode. Now, with Code Lyoko, I intend to do the same. This is a good opportunity, Tasuki. I think that there would be if you can recommend me an episode. Give me a minute. I always keep this on standby. If you can recommend me an episode, I'd love to know which one it is. I think you're the... I would trust that you know a lot more about the show than I ever would. That you probably know what works for YouTube pooping and what does not. Like I said, I've only ever tried the first episode, and nothing really stuck out. I mean, a big misconception about creators is that when they see anything that they can make gold out of it, I just think that is I don't think that's the case. I think that everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses, and even though Code Lyoko has the same characters, has the same voice acting throughout the show, the same animation throughout the show, it's still going to be easier when you've got a great episode to use as source material. Have the Michael Rosen sound effect before he goes nice. Ooh, let's see. Let me add this down. Today's 10th. The Michael Rosen nice. Let's do that. And believe you me, I'm not blowing you off. There have been a lot of opportunities for me to make a Code Lyoko poop, and I just haven't taken them. I was Bun's 11 and constantly jabbed him for 10 years on 2 accounts. No, you're fine, Tasuki. You're fine. I actually kind of appreciate that you are, still at it. And I really do like that you really want to see that from me. I would hate almost to spoil the joke because I make a Code Lyoko poop eventually. So this live stream suddenly came up on my feed, and I was almost knocked back by memories of watching you two poop. Good times. Well, Sailor Suit Rebel, thank you so much. It's so good to see you on this stream, and I hope you loved the YouTube poops that I've been making recently. If you haven't checked them out, I mean, I've got, oh my gosh, I don't know how many, 3 years of YouTube poops now, because I came back, so to say, in 2020. Challenge as fuck did. Another dumb idea, just an over-the-top anime moan as they hit somewhere in the midst of the sounds. I think I know what you mean, an anime moan. Oof. But I wonder. I think there's a point later in the episode where I might just be able to use that moan a little bit better. It's good thought, good thought, good thought. So an anime moan from Beyblade Clash. And again, we're working on the first part of this episode here, so you probably are not going to see the part that I'm thinking about. I'm an ex-pooper, but yeah, I need to recall the episode names, absolutely. I think the entire series is on YouTube, so if you don't know the names, maybe you could just, pop on through, or at least Wikipedia the synopsis and recommend it to me. I've got Twitter, I've got YouTube, of course. Just hit me with it. Oh god, your Doppler effect usage from the piano smashing into him got me so good. Yeah, the thing is that what was it? Shoot, the Twilight YouTube poop, where I have the car crashing into the couple, into Bella and Edward. I almost forgot their names. God, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping that somewhere there was going to be like a piano crashing, because come on, there's a green screen for almost everything now on YouTube, and I'm so glad that I found a really good one, especially for that great end joke. I'm glad you like that. Hey man, long time watcher. Thanks. Mitch Douglas, welcome to the stream. You seem to have an affinity for UK TV. Thinking the count. Oh yes, the countdown and Alan Carr poops. What made you pick those sources? So, first things first. What inspired the countdown poop was a YouTube poop that I saw that was made by Stegblob. Called Robotnik Fucks Off or something like that. And in it he actually used bits of the countdown clock, and I was curious as to what that show was, because I'm really into game shows. So I wanted to know, okay, what's this game show that they've got over in the UK that they don't have in the States? I watched it, and the thing about Countdown back in the 2000s, because I've seen episodes, full episodes, and by the way, guys, you've got to see this series. It's called 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. It's a wild, wild show that blends just a panel comedian kind of show with a quiz show. And Countdown from the 2000s is very, it's almost civilized compared to what a lot of these modern shows are. I mean, it's almost like a tea time show, I guess is the best way to describe it, where if you're sitting down enjoying a spot of tea or something, you can watch it. It's intellectual. And the thing about that show is that almost everybody who is on it could come up with 7, 8, 9-letter words with aplomb, and I'm just sitting here thinking, oh, my 6-letter word must be good enough, that surely there's nothing else there. But the Stegbog poop, Robotnik Fucks Off, and I watched some episodes. I was curious, I was interested, and I wanted to see what it was all about. The Alan Carr YouTube poop, Alan Carr Celebrity Ding Dong. When I was finishing up with an episode of Countdown, in the rolling credits, it was almost like it was recorded right from live television. So the BBC was advertising Alan Carr's Celebrity Ding Dong, and I thought, I might as well see what that is. It looks a lot livelier. And I gotta say, I think Alan Carr is hilariously funny. I think that he is just like, he's a comedian that cannot be replicated. Him, Matt Berry, another great British comedian that cannot be replicated. Like, you almost, and he's on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, by the way, Alan Carr. So when I saw his shtick, when I saw his show, I couldn't stop laughing, and I thought it was perfect. I just had to do it. I mean, how could I not? So I'm really glad that you liked it, and I really think that a lot of Americans should watch more of these British shows. I actually haven't. Most of the feed consists of cooking shows as part of my job now, but I will definitely watch them later. Yeah, definitely watch them. I really hope that my backlog isn't too intimidating. That's for sure. I know that sometimes when people rediscover someone they want to catch up on the backlog, then it just ends up being really time consuming. But I've come up with a lot of fantastic poops that I think you're gonna love. If you're a fan of the Star Wars Episode 1 YouTube poop that I made a sequel to it. I made a sequel using Episode 7. The Mulan poop I am very proud of, and a lot of others as well. There's just too many to name. Anyways, I'm on the coffee shop Wi-Fi, so I can't stick around. Oh, you're at the coffee shop. Well, now. But I saw you in the recommendations, and I decided to, in the words of Mario, take a piss. No, you're all good, Tsuki. You're all good. And speaking of memories, I still get a kick from watching the GTA. Yes, I am so fond of those tennis matches. In fact, the tennis matches are, I think, the thing that I get comments on the most. I watched you way back when in high school, or when you were doing tennis with Deeper Cut, and I loved it so much. I thank you so much for being a fan of that. I love it. I love doing it too. It was an incredible experience. And take care, Tsuki, for sure. Yes, 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, for sure. In the UK, it's a running joke. Only pensioners and the unemployed watch Countdown. For real, wow. I mean, I will say this, that the 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown is just about the exact same show. I think it's at the exact same pace, just with a lot more tomfoolery. So, in other words, with the original countdown that you watched exclusively for the, for, I guess, for the manners, because there are almost no laughs in that show. In the 2000s version of Countdown, the host does tell a joke at the beginning, but it's one of those jokes that's civilized, and you get a lot of raucous audience laughter, but they would laugh at anything because the show is so white bread, and you would almost never expect that show to be popular with someone who's looking for something more fast-paced and entertaining. But 8 out of 10 Cats' Countdown is fantastic. I love that show, and Sean Locke, rest in peace. In the UK, yes, glad I stuck around to sing the praise of that. Absolutely. Thanks, man. I appreciate the yucks over the years. And, oh, man, the I don't sense anything joke. Absolutely. Hey, what's going on, Parker Fisker? Tito, maybe we can... Ooh. Yeah, I love using Tito in a lot of the jokes, in a lot of my videos. Let's see if I can find a really funny moment to use him. So anyway, back to this. I love it when I go on tangents. It's, streaming in and of itself is fun, but I love it when I can interact with you. I mean, creating is a whole... there we go. Creating in and of itself is a ton of energy and fun, and just talking about random things, poops, times, you guys, it's so worthwhile. Man, I know that video game streams are a lot more popular, and I've actually been debating on whether or not I should move this to Twitch. The only thing is, I know that with Twitch, you probably have more strict copyright. With YouTube, I almost have a little bit more leeway, because I think what YouTube does is, if you've had a legacy channel, like a channel that's been around for a certain amount of time, then they're a lot more forgiving if you use copyrighted content. And what they'll do instead is they'll put some kind of ad on the video. I noticed this when I tried, because I have another account that I just use for, uploading things that I want to remember, just collages with family, for example. And I noticed that when I attempted to upload something, and keep in mind, this was only a recently created account compared to Captain 6, it was rejected because it was too lengthy, didn't have enough, you had to kind of dumb down, or rather, you had to decrease the amount of storage space that it took up. I guess that's something they give to legacy accounts, that freedom to use more storage space. And in addition, they were a lot more stringent on the copyright. So I think that may be a good argument for me to stay on YouTube. But if Twitch has people doing YouTube poop streams, that's fantastic. I've seen a lot of people do streams on Twitch where they just watch YouTube videos, and hopefully they don't get docked. But then again, maybe they've been on for a while. Glad I caught you this time. I'm usually at work and I miss it, but I'm really happy that you caught me this time. I think maybe Monday is just the better day of the week to stream on. Twitch is so busy unaliving itself. I personally recommend staying on YouTube. Duly noted. Eesh. I mean, I've heard about a lot of new measures that have been imposed on streamers for, revenue and the like. I follow a lot of streamers on Twitch. Two of my favorites are Apothic Decay, who's a fantastic positive streamer, and she does it while I work, because I work from home, and I love watching her, love what she talks about. Another one is Mochi Mamu, who is just batshit insane. Mochi Mamu is a VTuber, by the way, so if you're into VTubers, she is one to follow. And I know that they had mentioned that there were some brand new measures being introduced to Twitch that would harm their revenue stream, which is so unfortunate because, a lot of people really rely on this type of interaction with their fans on this medium in order to keep it going. And I really think that streaming is a great I didn't understand it at first until I actually, when I caught COVID last year, one thing that really helped me keep moving, because I was away from my usual computer. I couldn't make YouTube, so things were on hold. I was in bed, quarantined. I watched a lot of Twitch, and there were some fantastic streamers that I got to know and follow. Those two, of course, just being, I guess, the tip of the iceberg. And initially I followed them because they were doing Jackbox games. But when I really sat down and watched some of their other streams, they were fun, they were positive. And that's something that I really have to emphasize. Apothecary Decay and Mochi Mamu are some of the most positive, fun streamers that you can ever watch on Twitch. They don't complain, they don't, bemoan. They're just, if you're down and you just want to, feel good, you want to be in a great environment, family, or, something that feels like family, I would recommend watching that. And, they really help. Depending on how powerful your potato is, you could dual stream on YouTube and Twitch to see if it works. So I thought about that, and, this thing right here, this laptop, I don't know if it's going to be able to handle it. Last week's stream was so CPU consuming because I had introduced this camera, and in addition, I've got everything else. I've got the microphone here. I've got OBS with Vegas, with YouTube. All of those things consume a ton of CPU. If I've got Twitch going at the same time, that's going to be extremely difficult. I just know. But maybe when I eventually replace computers, because I'm going to have to do it someday. And when I do it, I'm going to get a desktop for sure. Man, I miss having a desktop. But when I do, I know it's going to be a lot easier for me. This can't wait a month. By the way, do you still have contact with the other creators? I feel like the others may have moved on to other things. Yes and no. I mean, the thing is that, to be completely honest, I was not very, I wasn't really connecting a lot with other creators, but I did chat with them every now and again. The creators that I was really, really connecting with were Deeper Cut and Guy Safari and Todomos, for the most part. All three, of course, aren't making YouTube poops anymore, although I think Todomos actually did make one back in 2020 again, but it's not consistent. It's not really consistent. So, but I did chat it up with CS188 a couple of times, and the things I didn't really chat it up with very much either. But, yeah, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. But for the most part, I mean, there are still a lot of creators out there who are making YouTube poops at a rate that's still pretty good. And I think that we're going to see a lot of people maybe making a return as time goes on. I think that a lot of people have, just stopped because the hassle it is to use the right hardware, because sometimes computers crap out. And those computers that crapped out were probably really expensive in the first place because they needed to run this type of software. So people didn't really follow through on getting another. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why people stop. But then again, I did stop also because for a time, I did also stop because I forgot what the fun of YouTube poops was. That's something that really does happen, where the fun of YouTube poops and making YouTube poops gets lost, and you don't know what you're doing, and you lose sight of the bigger picture. That is unfortunately something that happens to a lot of not just YouTube poop creators, but creators in general, people who make art, people who make do things for hobbies, whether it be food, video games, any type of creation. You lose sight of what you first loved about it in the first place. That's why it's so important to, when you really find something you love, I mean, regardless of whether you want to do it for money or not, never forget the process and not the end result is what matters. I love creating. Like, part of the reason why it takes me a long time to make YouTube Hoops is because I can see so many other jokes that I want to add. And those jokes, they take up some more time to get right. And it just doesn't feel done yet to me. And before, I was feeling the pressure, oh God, I got to put out something, otherwise people are not going to be happy that I didn't put anything out. I'm not like that as much anymore because it's just too much fun to make things like this. And I think that if you ever forgot what it is that you loved about doing something in the first place, it could be YouTube Poop, it could be art, it could be something else. It could even apply to, your job. Then just focus on the process instead of the result of the process. Just have fun with it. A lot of people fall into that trap. And thankfully, CS188 and the things were people that did not fall into that trap. Or maybe they did, but they knew how to get out of it. Who's to say? By the way, not sure if it's my connection, but ironically, your video feed looks stopped to me. I think it just is. Let me just see here. I think it's just me standing still, or maybe it snaps. Keep in mind, I'm trying as hard as I can not to use too much CPU so that I could keep the stream steady. I think there are going to be some moments still where it ends up being a little bit choppy. That's good. Yeah, same. Yep, looks like you're going at glorious 1 frame per second. Yeah, 1 frame per second. That glorious 1 FPS. So at least it stopped. I've been watching since 2008, and one of these days I will enter the game. I have so many ideas stashed up. Just do it. Just don't even worry about the right time. Don't even worry about whether it looks as good as what you imagined it to be. Just focus on doing it. And because YouTube Poop is a medium where you don't have to worry too much about it looking like, I don't know, like James Cameron's Avatar or something like that. Just focus on the fun of it, the creation, and just have fun with it. All right, let's move this head on over. If I move it this direction, it should move. There we go. Just gotta move it a little to the left. I want it positioned over this guy's head so that we can incorporate the BladeBey proper. Hello from the upcap, the UP. What is going on, Luna? It's glad to see you made it. Glad you made it. Oh, man. What kind of video editing software would you say is the best for a newcomer with a low-end computer? To be honest, it really doesn't make a difference which software you use, because what matters is, just getting to know whatever it is. I know some creators that use free software. In the days, way back when, and I say way back when, meaning the 2000s and early 2010s, the only way to get really good software without the cost being a problem was to torrent it or use zips. But now you can find some really good equivalent software to Vegas online that people have put out for pretty much free. Like, I use Photopea a lot for some of my videos in order to edit an image. It's a browser-based version of Photoshop, and they're supported by ad revenue, so they don't have to, worry. At least I don't think they have to worry about people buying their software. But either way, Photopea is just a good example of this. Like, before, you had to spend hundreds of dollars on Photoshop or get it through more piracy means. So whatever you can find and whatever is easy for you to learn. Every video software is going to be different. I think that some computers even have just basic video editing software. It's usually meant for collages more nowadays because, you know, you don't anticipate they don't anticipate you making avatar on it or anything like that. But still, yes. Remind me, were you among those involved in a tennis match with Simon? Yes. No, you remember correct. Welcome, Heroic Spirit, by the way. Good to see you, Heroic Spirit Gomikubi. So, this was unfortunately an unfinished tennis match, and it was just because Mr. Simon was, you know, not able to complete his round 4, but there were 3 rounds. I did round 1, he did round 2, and I did round 3. Round 3 is one of my favorite tennis matches of all time. It's called The Electric Cheese's 240 Pounds of Fat. So you remember right. I think you could still find his round 2 somewhere. It was called, because keep in mind, I didn't understand quality, video quality way back when. So my round 1 was in 240p, glorious 240p. And his round 2 was Captain has 240p vision or something like that. Oh, man. Arguably, unless you are the master poop or if your poop looks like Avatar, you're not doing it correctly. YouTube poop is just in a swamp of scuff. I mean, there are some great creators that are doing incredible things with it. I need not point to anybody else except Hour of Poop, who's, oh man, every single thing that Hour of Poop touches is fantastic. And very often, just, oh man, a lot of it can be very studio quality too. At the very least, you might even see it on Adult Swim. That's how good the quality of an Hour of Poop would be. And Buzz Gets COVID is still one of the best poops ever made. Buzz Gets COVID-19. If you haven't seen it, you've got to see it. It is everything that I think makes Hour of Poop so great. So now let's do this thing. Let's get the BladeBey, or rather, this can't wait a month is probably the only way I'm going to find it on YouTube. Because if I search BladeBey or something like that, it might not be there. Oh, someone put an HD remaster. Yes! Let's see how it sounds. Yes. Perfecto. Someone HD remastered Deeper Cuts best joke. It's just his best joke, at least to me. All right, do it in the command line. Well, welcome Smoop. Welcome on in. Yeah, hashtag Windows Movie Maker. I miss Windows Movie Maker, and I really hope that whatever, like, I don't even know if there is an equivalent version on Windows 11, but I hope that they do bring something into the fold that is at least pretty good when it comes to video editing. Zenato, what is going on? Welcome to the stream, Zenato. And Luna, Apple iMovie. I've not used iMovie, so I won't be able to, I can't say for sure, but if you do have an iMac, I know that Final Cut Pro is commonly used by a lot of professionals. If you can learn Final Cut, that's fantastic. I've only ever used it once when I was on a different computer and just to mess around in. And it is pretty good. It's got a lot of tools, but I mean, if you want to start small, just, and you don't want to shell out for Final Cut, then one of the freebie softwares that you can easily find should do the trick. Hey, we use the same video downloader. Yeah, 4K video downloader. Been using it for years. Has never let me down. I love it. So let's pull in that BladeBey video remaster. Yes, it's from Static Shock More specifically, it's from a deeper cut YouTube poop called Static Shock, the ripoff of Electro. It's titled that because before he released the Static Shock poop, he had released an old Spider-Man cartoon YouTube poop in which Electro was the villain. Electro's chief super villain power was, of course, electricity. And Static Shock uses electricity. All right, let's see here. It was called This Can't Wait a Month Remaster. And I love that the person that made that found the exact clip from the episode, actually the exact episode, and used it. In fact, I think Static Shock is actually on HBO Max. It was a Kids WB property, so it should be at least. Let's grab it, plop it into the timeline. And integrate it. Yo, Robin Hood YouTube hoops tend to be top quality, honestly. A lot of them get me laughing out loud. Yeah, that 26-minute Robin Hood YouTube hoop is another great masterpiece. In fact, just the way that he was able to cut out the character. I shouldn't be saying he because it's a duo. Just the way that they were able to cut out the characters. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how much time it took, but almost every single YouTube hoop they released has some of the most professional masking that I've ever seen. And I'm curious as to what they do to do that, to make it so clean. But man, that's another one that you should definitely check out. The unfinished set that explains why I was doubting myself. There's an archive page somewhere that literally has all of Cheese's classic stuff. Good, because part of the reason that I found The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya is because of Electric the Cheese. In fact, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya I initially found through another tennis match of his, and I think, shoot, I'm trying to remember the name of the person that he was playing tennis with. Crazy Karaz or something like that. It wasn't Crazy Cat. I think it was Crazy Karaz. But his round 2 had a remix of the scene where Haruhi extorts, let's just say, the computer club president, and that got me hooked. I had to find it. I was thinking maybe I can use this source or maybe just that scene for a YouTube poop in the future, but I didn't know where to look for it, or better yet, didn't know where to find it. And when I did find it, I was hooked on the series by that time. I had to know what was going on. I mean, the story in and of itself. Also, was just really damn funny. Really damn funny. Here we go. Let's just grab this sound clip and put it right here. And trim it so that it starts with BladeBey. And we're good. And actually, it might behoove us to actually cut out Mr. Hawkins' head here. Because Mr. Hawkins makes a mouth movement here that I don't think isn't going to go unnoticed. But, we'll worry about that later. For now, we got the BladeBey joke in, and I think there is something else that I can do. Yes. The unfinished set. Yeah. So let's see what else do we have here. Let me just take a sip of water before I continue. Again, streaming means you gotta stay hydrated. Perfect. Now, what I think we can do is integrate the Mr. Hawkins Please into it. Oh, wait, actually... Yeah, I think we're fine. Mr. Hawkins, please.
This can't wait a month.
Mr. Hawkins, please. Mr. Hawkins, please.
Yes, right here. Right here. Let's just cut this out and see if we can find the right clip of the stadium. Something that looks an awful lot like this. Actually, I think I might just be able to use this very image. Let's pull it on in. By the way, I stumbled upon Commander Guanam's old channel recently. Truly one of the OG. Yes. Is it weird that I'm particularly nostalgic for old style sentence mixing? No, it's not weird. Commander Guanam was one of the best. In fact, when I followed I'm a Person a lot back in the early 2010s and 2009, Commander Guanam was right up there as far as that type of YouTube was concerned, but he made it so good, throwing in more types of jokes, and even the, like, man, I really wish that there was some kind of archive for everything that he did, because all of those YouTube poops that he made were fantastic, and I wish that he had kept going. And you can't make somebody keep going if they're exhausted or something like that, but gosh darn, it's like a painter painting masterpieces. Commander Guanam was so good. So what I'm going to do here is just have a simple echo, because we're in a stadium, and when you're in a stadium, there's always going to be an echo when someone is on a mic. And that means I need to make this a little bit softer, because an echo is almost always going to be softer.
Mr. Hawkins, please.
Needs more. So let's do this. Let's add more layers to this, soften it up. Mr. Hawkins, baby. We can have the Mr. Hawkins, please, but make it louder the second time. Ooh, that's a good idea. I like that. We'll bring back the baby, please.
Mr. Hawkins, please.
All right, I think that's good. I'm going to add one more layer. I need to find the... I'm just going to have to add another audio track, because I want to keep these audio tracks at 0 and these at their respective 3.8 and 11. They're intended for different parts of the clip. Here we go. Right here.
Mr. Hawkins, please.
There we go.
Mr. Hawkins, please.
And I like the idea of the louder please. Okay, let's move these to... Let's couple these together, and I think I need to make this slightly softer. There we go. So let's couple them together and see if we can get this integrated on top. Now I'm pretty sure this is a video right here. So what I need to do, find right here, I need to stretch it. So let's stretch it right here. And I think a really good idea would be to have just the head randomly floating from left to right, doing more baby for, and then your idea of doing it. While there's an entire ocean of YouTube poops that are worth rewatching, I always find myself returning to fresh hints of Blair. Let me tell you guys something about women, something about women. Yes, that has so many clever one-liners and just so many great isms. And I initially I didn't get it at first. I remember watching it and thinking, this isn't the best thing that he's made, but it's pretty good. And then the more I watched it, the more I began to love it. And I already really liked parts of it, but then just everything about the video, it's just so good. Like little things like, you swindled me. And even some of the lesser known parts, like the very end of the video, like, is so good. Yo, it's my brother Carlton. Can you make me a sandwich? No. The whole make me a sandwich jokes were wonderful as well. And if there's one video that I think that Krobo is remembered for, it's definitely that one. All right, let's grab more baby. Let's grab more of this. Fesh Pits of Blair is one of those canonical classics that's always worth rewatching. Yes, yes, absolutely. And you know, the Hurricoaster one is interesting because the Hurricoaster YouTube poop is very, very easily one of the best time capsules of YouTube poop, where you can watch it and you get where YouTube poop was at that time, what was really popular as a source or really popular to use as a joke at the time. It's a wonderful time capsule. Audio is crispy. Ooh. My lunch break is up. I gotta go back. Be sure to tune in. Thank you so much for joining, Parker Fisker. Good to see you. Will you make me a sandwich? Will you make me a sandwich, Cap? I've always wanted to, I've always wanted to find a way to use that joke. The sequence with Carlton and Will under the bed. Are you sure we should do this? One of my favorite parts of that poop. Let's see. Just the random numbers is another one. That's just, again, it's one of those things where Krobo must know, like, Krobo must have watched this show growing up and know the episodes by heart, because I don't know how he found so much gold in that show. Because The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that show, was a really common source at the time. And there were some really, really good YouTube poops, especially by the likes of MTB 710. But Krobo took it to a whole other level. Come on, man. It's either this or this. Alright, let's see if we can get the head floating across the screen. Let me get this and copy it. Perfect. And then, now the thing about the head floating is that for this, it's going to look like this, but if I have the head turning, which I wanted to do, that might upset the path. Let's find out. Let's just start the head on the left side, and then move it. It's a great legacy joke here. Great idea for this, Luna. Alright, and then it's going to move across to the other side. Maybe finish its path right here. And just bring it on over. Actually, let me sync the cursor together so I know where it, if it's going to end up in a spot where the head is still visible. So let's bring it on over. Still look a little choppy. Don't worry, don't worry. It's just, again, the computer is using up so much CPU. Let's see if we can end it a little bit. Alright. Get it to finish right here. Finish right here. Carlton. Yeah, I love quoting YouTube poops. I love it when people just quote YouTube poops out of nowhere. So this is making a more of a U, but I like it. It's still good because this is a rounded, almost like a rounded image. Like you've got the arena here that's rounded. The crowd is rounded. So having it go in that path still looks really good. And now let's get the please in there. Mr. Hawkins, please.
Please. Please.
Oh, this is the end of it. Whoops. All right, let's go.
Mr. Hawkins, the subject of today's meeting is budget appropriation.
But there will be a general meeting next month.
This can't wait a month.
Oh god, I love that. This whole sequence.
Mr. Hawkins, please.
This
Okay, the please right here.
Please.
I love calling back to this. The one thing I worry about when I make a callback joke is whether people are going to get the original joke.
Please.
But I'm glad to know that the BladeBey is still not only, it's not only remembered, but it's still funny. Now, for this, I need to do the same thing. Actually, no, I'm going to put this on a higher. Let's see. How loud is this?
Please.
Whoa, that is loud. Dim it down. It is on the 11.9 like I wanted it to be, but I need to reduce the gain a lot.
Please.
Okay. Now let's paste it here. Copy. Paste. Bada bing. With over 100% of the district reporting, the banks is overwhelming me. Oh my god. Another great joke that I love. Anything related to just simple sentence mixing. Oh man. Fuck Philip Banks. Banks wants to empty the banks. Just that simple line. Banks wants to empty the banks. I tried doing something similar to that in the end of the Game On Part 2 video. Hello, Detective Banks. Do you know where your banks are? But Crobo did it so good. Fill our streets with banks and run a banks making operation out of his banks.
Please.
Okay. Let's just get this moved right here.
Please.
That's good. That's good. It's got the right amount of echo. It's not a long clip. And what I'm also going to do is because the head is moving in and then out of the frame, I want to just extend this a little bit, but have it fade in, like a sound fading in as it enters the frame and then fade it out as soon as it exits it. Just like that. I can already tell it's going to be holler and hoot. So let's see. Make sure it lines up. It lines up just great. Excellent. Yes. Yeah, I agree. The entire poop is quotable. I sometimes bring out this is the end of Captain Pan, and on rare occasions, someone in a random MMO there will get it. Oh god. I think that those YouTube poop tennis matches are just full of quotes. I think that the superhero one just has so many more, but the Grand Theft Auto tennis has the ones that caught on, which I'm not complaining. I mean, aw shit, here we go again. What's not to love? I sometimes wonder if we had extended the tennis, because we were initially looking at 40 rounds maybe before they were starting to get some burnout. If we had no burnout, how much more could have been done? Same with the superhero tennis. Skooks is a particularly odd time capsule of poop history. I saw the series again recently, and my ancient comments on the vids are still there. I'm glad, because, I think that part of the great history of the YouTube poops from your, weird thing to say, are the comments that were left on it. And I really feel bad that, Walrus Guy lost his channel back in 2009 or so. But because there are so many comments on those videos, the original views, the original quality of the videos, and it's like a time capsule. You got to see what you posted, what you liked, and sometimes I go into old videos in my favorites and look at them and see what kind of comments that I had posted on them as well. But I'm glad that, Skooks, the original series, is still up. Sometimes I'll make a YouTube reverse joke like there's a Cascade ad that has the motto, "Dare to dish differently." Oh, ooh, hold the phone. Dare to dish differently. I have to look this up. That is an interesting one. Oh God. Moments of inspiration. So, Luna, there is, I think maybe you have seen these ads on YouTube. There is a series of ads that go, hold on one second, let me just cancel this out. There was a series of YouTube ads, I think that they were really prominent into 2000, where, and it's a guy advertising a detergent-free soap for people. He goes like, "You're not a dish, you're a man." Or like, "The soap that you're using, it's shbeep, it's a censored shit," because, of course, safe for work. Also, just for the sake of cursing. I think I've been thinking about those videos a little bit more recently. If I can find that Cascade series, hold on. Put a side note here. Cascade commercial. Maybe those two sources can be integrated. Cascade commercial and Dare to Dish Differently. Dare to dish differently. Such a weird ad slogan to use. Differently. But you know what? Cascade's gain is our gain. I hear dare to shish differently. That's a good one. Hey, I got an idea for somewhere. A bad guy loses in this episode. Put in Seto Kaiba saying, "I declare this invalid." Does Seto Kaiba say that? Let's see. Let's just go to YouTube again real quick. Let's see. This is a great, this is a BladeBey Jerry Terry's remix. It's just a thing that I had it on initially. Kaiba, I declare, invalid. I wonder, is this the clip where he says it?
As president of Kaiba Corp, I declare this invalid!
As president of Kaiba Corp, I declare this invalid. Yeah, let me think on this for a second. I think there's another way that can be used. As, okay, let me just shorten it. Kaiba, quote, invalid. I wonder if there is such a use for it in the way that I'm thinking. Sometimes things strike me. If there is a way to do that, then I'll do it. Let's find out. Quick sip of water. I drink water like a sink. Okay. Let's bring it on back. Don't stop, never give up. Hold your head high and reach that top. Everyone says that we have got to bring it all back to you. Okay, so we've got the head moving across, and we have the please. And I think that finishes that joke. I'm not going to do it because it's not going to appear, like, this is not going to be a smooth preview window because of the stream going on, but I think it looks good. I think it's going to sound great. Now, we also have BB-8 in that joke I mentioned. We just need to figure out a way that integrates, and we can go from there. Who was the BladeBey remix by? That was by, let me just look it up. It was by Jerry Terry. Or more specifically, it's on a YouTube channel called RomWatt2. R-O-M, let me just pull this into view here. RomWatt2. It's called BladeBey Jerry Terry's Remix. I remember a YouTube poop where Seto Kaiba cheats throughout the whole video and he says, "I declare this invalid," to change the rules when he likes. It was hilarious. Do you remember what it was called? I'm curious to see what that was. I'll tell you this. voice acting for Yu-Gi-Oh! Once again coming in clutch. Not sure if it's relevant, but there's one good soundbite that I think would be perfect to be in a YouTube poop. If you put the no unacceptable in YouTube, it should be one of the first results. Has an X on it. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. It's called No Unacceptable, huh? No Unacceptable. It's see. I see a YouTube poop for. Oh, it has an X on it. I see it. I see it.
No, unacceptable.
Oh man, that's Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And it looks like it's a forum weapon, something that you'd post on the forum, but or at least Discord. No, unacceptable. Let's download it. Why not? Let's put it in somewhere. I'm sure that there's a place that it can be done. No, unacceptable. Man, I remember that show when that show made the news for some kind of, I don't know if it was some kind of bomb threat or something, but it was when the movie came out, and I think there was some kind of promotion or some fool was trying to, I don't know, express his love for the show. I have no idea what it was, but it made the rounds on the news and people were outraged by it. Again, I'm just remembering, I think it was like 2009 when it happened. Okay, let's see. Let's find a BB-8 section. Let's see what we got. Moving on. Oh, let me do this real quick. There we go. All right, let's see. Picking up where we left off, we are only like a few minutes into the episode, or rather, I think we're just half a minute or a minute into the episode, and there's already so much that we've done. And I love it because when I was working on a lot of these parts of the episode earlier on, I was trying to think of ideas, and I think that the ideas you've come up with have really enhanced this a lot. It's a great job. And this is something that I've tackled in a prior stream. Listen, just listen. And I make that go on for hours, well, not hours on end, but for a lot longer. Then moving on, it shows the crowd, and then this is, I think there's more of that stadium announcer here. Maybe you can use the BladeBey remix at the end, promoting your. Yeah, that's a good thought. Initially, I was thinking about the Beyblade song because, well, actually, no, I think that there might be a better argument to use that BladeBey remix, especially if I can incorporate the BladeBey more times throughout the YouTube poop. I love it when a song that I use for the ending just fits cleanly or references something so cleanly, like with the obviously the Vanessa Carlton 1,000 Miles. Yeah, that if I can make the BladeBey work, and also gives credit to Jerry Terry who made the remix, that would be pretty slick. The Adult Swim extended crew put some LCD signs promoting the show in Chicago, and the town assumed they were bombs and sued the creators for. Oh my god. Oof. Okay. Wow. The fact the Adult Swim crew lost the lawsuit is a big injustice. Man, I'm just amazed that, like, I have no context as to what the heck happened. Just that I was seeing news reports, and then they finally said at the very end, all right, it has been discovered that it is not a bomb. It is just a promotion for Aqua Teen Hunger Force. This was not funny. This was a terrible joke. And I'm just sitting here dumbfounded, like, what the heck? Boston, not Chicago, my bad. Okay, no worries. I love the coffee video. Thank you. I'm glad you did, Luna. I loved it too. Oh, man. Animation budget right there. Look at this. It's a still image with the... Oh, man. That's so 2000s. Okay. I actually do a joke right here where a bird gets whapped by one of those windmill blades. And here is Kenta. Now, there's not really much that I can do with this clip right here of Jinga, excuse me, of Jinga just walking along. And it's one of those things where...
The match already started.
It's one of those things where once you see him, you know he is the quote-unquote hero of the show. Look at the hair.
Take that!
Okay, it's getting a little choppy. That's all right. Oh, man. Oh, hey there, Avi there. Always appreciated, always appreciate the Hokuto no Ken rep. Of course. What if you wanted to order coffee, but God said, make him my way downtown. The cool part is that I love that so much. There was a very similar joke in the comments. Was that you that made it? I wonder. I think it was you that made it on the Twilight Poop, where what if you wanted to love a vampire, but God said, cruising on down Main Street. Oh, good. I love that joke. I love the making my way downtown. Just the piano rolling recklessly down the street.
Whoa!
And this is a soundbite I intend to use very, very much.
Bummer!
I've already used it a bunch of times in this poop, and I can't wait for you to see where.
That is a stadium out.
Oh, there it is again. Animation budget right there. Just the white stuff. It's so cheap. And animes did it all the time.
The winner is, give it up for Kenta Yumiya.
I wonder what I could do there. The winner is, give it up for... Yeah, that walking slowly could be used for that gag. Making my way downtown. Walking too fast and I'm homebound. I wonder actually if... Because I still have the song. Oh, but I gotta be real careful about the... No, I could just pull it from the finished. I gotta be real careful about the copyright here. Funny thing, the video, the coffee YouTube poop, of course, because I used a copyrighted song, it means it's not available in certain countries. It's Russia and Belarus that you can't see it in, and I don't know how many fans I have in those parts of the world, but I'm always concerned that it's going to be one of those cases where Sony renders it impossible to view in more, I guess, more democratic countries, I guess, for like a better word. All right, let me just grab this. I need to grab the Making My Way Downtown. Ooh, wait, no, I shouldn't have grabbed that. I should have grabbed the actual song instead because there's background noise in it. I didn't write that comment, but I wish I did. Oh, Hercules, yes, you got an idea. You got an idea. When Jenga has his introduction, maybe you can Photoshop a badge and cowboy hat in him and have the audio clip of Shaggy saying, "It's the sheriff." Let's see. I don't know. I think that, let me see. Let me try and picture it real quick while I pull the other source. Let's see. Just, it's the sheriff. I want there to be a punchline for it, and it's the sheriff. I'm not sure. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I could see where it can be a punchline. Let me think some more. I wonder if there's another way to make that work. I think there's a better way to make something like that work. I just don't know what it is. Speed lines are cheap. Really needs a screen shake. Yeah. Wait, when he says the winner is, you could use that as an opportunity to use Kaiba's "this is invalid" gag. That's true. That is very, very true. Okay, first let me grab this. Let me grab the Vanessa Carlton song. And again, gotta be really careful. Really, really careful. Don't want to use too much of the song, but I almost know, like, I almost know where the song starts. This is the piano opening. Oh wait, no, this is the wrong one. I had three versions. The original song itself, the a cappella, and then the instrumentals. So I gotta go down to, here we go. This is it. Actual music video is pretty interesting. I remember seeing it on Nickelodeon. Like way back when music was such a big thing on Nickelodeon. I'm talking like turn of the 2000s when they had all of these Nickelodeon musician stars, Aaron Carter, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, and then you had the song of the week. I remember watching it, wondering what it was going to be, and it was this song, this Vanessa Carlton song, and it just appeared, and it's such a mature, well put together song that I just think that piano riff just stays with you. You hear the piano riff and you think, oh, it's this song. All right, let's look at the bars here. Making my way downtown. I think it's right here. I'm just being cautious here because again, just don't want to be dinged. It's the piano. I think
What?
There we go. So there are several things that I can do. There's the sheriff idea if I can make it work, but the making my way downtown. All right, let me just keep it over by the clip. Let me just keep it actually over here. And I'm just going to put it right here because then I'll know where it is. It's chaotic, but it's organized chaos. So, oh, I think that my cat's trying to exit. I'll be right back. My cat's trying to exit the room. And we're back. And we're back. All right. Let's see here. But yeah, the Kaiba line. That'd be a really good use for it. Kaiba. Oops. Wait, did I already download it, or did I download something else? No, I didn't. Kaiba. This is as president of Kaiba Corp, I declare this invalid. Here we go. We don't need to watch it because I already know this is it. Here we are. And bam. And I just need the low res version so that I can keep it simple, straightforward. Yes. Gotta go for now. Might be back later. No worries, Luna. Thank you so much for hopping on. Come on now. Everyone knows the caveman is the sheriff. Yes. Yes. Found the YouTube poop with I declare this invalid. It's yes. I think I saw that. I saw that YouTube poop, which is actually, when you told me that about the when you told me about the I declare this invalid source, I remember seeing a YouTube poop with that, and it was actually the very first option when I searched it in YouTube. As president of Kaiba Corp, I declare this invalid. It's funny to think about how the Yu-Gi-Oh manga was about any and all games and only became about card games later. I could totally see them trying something like Beyblade later on. The Yu-Gi-Oh manga, I remember reading it when it was very easy to, I think it still is, but get scans of manga from, from online, from people who could rip and translate. I remember reading it and thinking the exact same thing. In fact, it wasn't just, let's see, there were several games, because you did actually have a version of the Yu-Gi-Oh card game that appeared in one of the chapters, but then you also had one where you had to, where you could only use like, I'm trying to remember what it was. The one I remember more vividly is one where he challenges this bully, and it's almost like this ice hockey match of sorts. And the weird thing is that these are really, really weird things for people to agree to. Like, all right, if you're the bully and you have an upper hand on somebody, why would you play on their arena? Unless you were really cocky. Actually, I might have just answered my own question there. Okay, as president of Kaiba Corp, I declare this invalid. Alright, actually, there's another sound clip that I'm thinking might also work, but let's get the president of Kaiba Corp in this real quick. So, alright, right about here is what I want. I don't need this anymore, so let's remove it from the timeline. And this is, I think I know what this clip is. Yeah, that comes later. I'm just going to pull this on over, put it right here. Excellent. Now, let's get the winner thing. President of Kaiba Corp, I declare this invalid. Let's pull it on into the timeline, and then let's grab that victory.
Or Kenta Yumi. That is a stadium out. The winner is. Give it up for.
Ooh, there's another idea that I can implement here. On top of that. So,
give it up for Kenta.
So, let's do this.
The winner is.
So let's first pull this in and make that joke. I'm going to pull it right here just so I have that free space, all this great real estate in the timeline to use. Oops. Separate this. Remember the early manga and the Season 0 anime? It was really enjoyable, honestly. I've seen the opening to the Season 0 show. Deepercut actually used it in his second Yu-Gi-Oh! Or third, technically, Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube poop. So, it's really interesting how they decide to, wind back the clock a little bit. Thinking of the old Shadow games, between major story events, they played all kinds of games. Yes, there's an entire scene that shows us Kaiba as a high score every single arcade in Japan. And they looked younger in the manga and in the show too. Like in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, the Duel Monsters Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, they almost look like they're as tall as adults, but in the Season 0 series, they look more like teenagers. And when he loses his first card game against Yugi, he breaks someone. Oh my god. He breaks someone out of death row to murder him? Holy. I stopped reading after the duel with Kaiba just because, not all of the versions of the manga were uploaded at a time. There was consistent updates. I did not know that he broke somebody out of death row. That's wild. Holy smokes. I know people died in it. Yeah, he lit a guy on fire with alcohol. That's another thing I remember. Like, oh my god. There were so many things that, oh my god. I have no idea how you were traumatized if you saw some of that stuff.
As president of Kaiba Corp, I declare this invalid.
Let's see. Should I use the entire clip or just the I declare this invalid?
I declare this invalid!
Whatever. I'll think about it. But either way, let's integrate it. And then let's grab that part of the episode again that we need for this.
That is a
So let's just grab this part while I have it. I'm going to cut it. Oh my god. You know, it's weird thinking about all the stuff that, you know, could traumatize you if you're not the right age for it. I was actually just thinking about this morning when I was, you know, waking up, because, you know, there was this Powerpuff Girls episode that I remember where the villain of the episode was a magician who got crushed in an Iron Maiden. And I remember watching that when I was a kid and thinking that shit is disturbing. And keep in mind, it was played both tragically and for laughs. And no, like, that's the kind of thing where if you're a kid and you're watching this, like, jeez. It's a good thing that show wasn't, you know, overly realistic. It was, you know, animated, but that was dark. That's what all this Season 0 talk reminds me of. Yeah, the anime changed it mostly to have their souls taken, but early on, you would just kill people. I mean, they were generally awful people, but yeah. Whew. Using the whole clip makes the source more obvious, but it's funny either way. Okay.
The winner is. Give it up for.
So let's just, I'm going to trim it down.
I declare
Kaiba's voice actor is really recognizable, so.
I declare.
Let's see, I just need to cut out the beep sound.
I declare.
There we go. Starting to get a little choppy, that's okay. Just save.
I declare this invalid!
Alright, let's move it on down here. So I'm just going to kind of interrupt the announcer. Let's see how it sounds.
I declare this.
Right here. Let's see how this sounds instead.
Give it up for.
I declare this invalid!
That works. Okay. So now let's get the whole part of the clip. Not here. I just need to stretch it. Right about here will do. Okay. Where the announcer says this is a stadium out. Okay. Here we go.
That is a stadium out.
All right.
Out.
Let's get the out here. I'm thinking if I can just get the announcer to say either get out or get the fuck out or something like that. It's going to be really tricky to get the latter, but I'm pretty confident I can get the get out. I think that get the fuck out would be even better. We're honestly better off that Yu-Gi-Oh! Sequels tend to use the anime series of events for sequels. Pegasus is... Oh yeah, Pegasus was murdered by Mokuba in the manga, but survives the anime and even shows up in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I remember that. I remember that the in the show, the Millennium Eye gets stolen, and like to have an eye plucked out from your head like that, jeez. Bakura, you're right.
The winner is. Give it up.
Here we go.
Give it up. Give it up. Give it up.
All right, let's get the give it up.
Out.
Actually, I'm gonna just remove this because when you remove the video portion of a clip, you can work in the audio portion more freely.
Out.
I want the M sound removed.
Out.
Oof. I just need a T sound. I wonder if there's a really good enunciated T sound. That's pretty good. Yeah, that actually happened. I remember just a lot of the stuff that happened in the show was so teamed. Like in the American dub, like obviously Shadow Realm, you have that instead of death, but for the Japanese version, they actually did die, and there's much more graphic stuff. I mean, the only reason that this was imported to the Americas and kids was because there was an opportunity to sell the merchandise behind it, and the show helped to enforce that hype. Now let's see. Reminds me, Mokuba was a psycho, just like Kaiba in the early manga. Mokuba totally tries to... Oh my god, jeez. I need a sip. Wow. The shit I learn about these shows, I swear. Yeah, it's just for kids things. Exactly. I mean, you have to be grateful for that. Just like 4Kids actually made some edits and made it more palatable, because like I was saying, some of that shit's gonna scar you if you're not of the right temperament or age.
Give it up! Give it up!
Now, Beyblade, I think that when they made the anime, they made it with the intention to move it, to show it to Western audiences as well. And that meant a lot less censorship. So they didn't have to worry about that, because all they had to do was make the Japanese version just as tame as the American version. Let's see.
Give it up! Give it up! Now!
And let's see if this is understandable. I'm going to move this to a different...
Give it out! Give it out! Give it out!
Let's try and blend these together a little bit more. Get a...
Give it out!
It's too I...
Give it out! Give it out!
Okay. Now, if we can get the... I think we can get... Because the word the is easy. There's no doubt in my mind he uses the word the. If we can just get an F sound. This is going to be the hard part. Oh, wait. He does use the letter F. Actually, Cap, the original Japanese does have a dark realm that we can equate to the Shadow Realm, but it's barely brought up in the 4Kids adaptation launched onto it. Interesting. Interesting. I did not know that. I thought that the Shadow Realm was just the... I thought the Shadow Realm was just, 4Kids idea entirely. Because there's so much that's plainly obvious. Like, it's plainly obvious that so much of that show was edited in order to get rid of all the gruesome death stuff. Like, there was a duel that he had with somebody where in the American version there were dark energy discs, and there were these spinning blue wheels that if they touched you, then you went to the Shadow Realm. But it was obvious. It was obvious that it was edited into something else. That reminds me, yeah. Maze, not just that. Millennium item wielders, don't take death threats well when Bandit Keith pulls a gun on Pegasus. I remember that. I remember seeing the edit out of the gun. He uses powers to... Oh my god. Seriously? Wait, what? Is that in the manga, or is... The Bandit Keith thing, is that in the manga or is that in the anime? I remember that Pegasus touches a switch and he drops down a trapdoor into the ocean, but then he reappears in a later episode. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, let's see. Let's just go back to the beginning of the episode. I think I can get my F sound here.
Don't be so sure of yourself. Come on, hit him back.
What a day of Beyblading it has been here in the WBBA
No, it's not A. It's not F, it's A. Okay. Maybe there's something else.
competition. Does it get any better than this? I don't think so. Let's watch and find out.
Find.
Watch and find.
So this is an FI sound. Maybe it's possible to convert it into an FU or an FO. Actually, maybe closer to FO. Possibly can turn it into an FU. Hey, what is going on, Ethan? Glad you can make the stream. Welcome. Glad you can make it. Whew. Well, we are just tackling some more Beyblade, discussing the philosophy of letting it rip and how it applies to daily lives and a whole bunch of other shit. That's what we're doing here. Oh, you were the... Hey, what's going on? I'm so used to seeing you as the mini-color journal and not Ethan. The blue wheels, yeah, exactly. There were just saw blades in the original, and they didn't do anything to edit them to make them look any less like saw blades, except turn them blue and glowy. Finally, I had so many loading problems. Oh, what's your idea, Hercules? What is your idea? Hit it. I love it. I love it when there's an idea here. When he says WBBA, have him say a bunch of letters like, yeah, that's a good idea. I like it. It's simple. It's clean. I like it. All right. Let me move that. Well, first I'm going to just take the... Yeah, because when I initially heard that, I was thinking that maybe there's another acronym that I can spell out with W, B, and A. And then... But I think you're absolutely spot on. Sometimes just having a mishmash of the letters makes just as much nonsense.
Hit him back.
What a day of Beyblading it has been here in the WBBA. Here in the WBBA.
Always down for the addition of immense random letters added to acronym sequences. I think that there's a YouTube poop that did this really well, just random letters. It was made by Absolute Billion, and it's called Diamond Dash. Now, the source material is a Harry Einfeld music video for a song / bit he does called Loads of Money. And he uses that source material. My favorite parts of it, though, is when Absolute Billion just scrambles the letters in the beginning of the music video. Like, you have to watch it to know what I'm talking about. But it's called Diamond Dash by Absolute Billion. I love it. It's a great YouTube poop. And if the name Absolute Billion rings a bell, he is the person who made the classic YouTube poop, The Gradual Mental Degradation of a Kids Show Host. This was the poop that kicked off the Blues Clues YouTube poop trend. Maybe make the X in the middle spin around. The X in the middle. Oh, wait. Make one of the Beyblades freeze when someone throws it. Make the X in the middle spin around. Maybe. The X in the Beyblade? But first, let me work on this first. Make sure I got... And then just... Let me just pull this. I'm gonna put it right here. Excuse me. All right. Okay.
That is for.
Give it up for.
Give it up for.
Actually, give it up for.
Give it up.
Let's see.
Give it up.
No, he doesn't sound the V enough to. Okay, it's all right.
Give it up. Give it up for.
Just a simple sentence mix. Relatively simple sentence mix. I just came up with the potential rule of threes gag. The crowd erupting into cheering at progressively more unhinged things. Ooh, that's... We got a crowd, so why not? Rule of threes. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Crowd erupting at... I'm just going to say... weird things. Oop. I marked my wall. Whoops. Oh, man. My favorite dumb edit is the duel against Kaiba on top of Pegasus' castle. Kaiba is relying on this duel so he can save Mokuba. When Kaiba is about to lose, he threatens to jump off and kill himself. Yes, in the English dub, they make him make some stuff up about how the dual holograms might make him fall off. Well, that's another thing. That's a thing I didn't get, because in the show, the holograms are really, like, in the show, the holograms actually kick up dust and have bluster when there's an attack done. Like, you could see it when people play and when they duel. In fact, there's even a segment in the Yu-Gi-Oh movie where Joey actually gets stung by the shot of an injection fairy lily. So, I mean, they're obviously more than just holograms. They're really advanced holograms if they can actually move the Earth. So, I didn't realize that was edited. Diamond Dash, oh my god, fucking god, you blessed the man. Absolute Billion is also such a goat. Yes, yes. The X on the stadium. Okay, the X on the stadium. Right. Let's see. Where's it good? Yeah. Ooh. Simple and eloquent idea. This is going to be a little tricky, though, because it's in ellipse. In ellipse... Oh, actually, no. It won't be that tricky. Because all I have to do is apply a simple mask to the outline here. And then have the interior spin as a result. I can do that. I could definitely do that. Let me focus on this first, though. We only have, after... Oh, gosh. There are only 35 minutes left in the stream. Oof. Maybe those face hunters wouldn't be able to make a fool of me. Yes. Oh, one other idea, but maybe this would be too cluttered. When the announcer says, give it up, have Rick Astley... Ooh, wait. Oh, holy smokes. Hercules, you're onto something. I completely forgot. But maybe there is even a way that we can make the announcer say, never gonna give you up. I don't know why, but Rickroll jokes just still click. Announcer says, never gonna give you up. I mean, there's a great lead-in for that, I'm sure, somewhere. It's not cluttered. It's a great idea. What's going on, Cybercults? Glad you were able to hop on. You can get a lot further using attack type. Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah. Oh, you're watching the episode, Ethan. I see. My father punched me and I have a big bump by my forehead. Oof. I hope you're all right, man. Yeesh. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I hope you're all right. Put some ice on that. Okay. Let's complete this. We have to finish this sentence mix. Oh, I love the way this comes off.
Winner is, give it up for.
I declare this invalid.
Get out. Get out. stadium. The win.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, this is a great sentence mix. I love it. I love it. All right, let's pull the over here. Just grab these audio clips, and then we're just going to rearrange them to make the joke. All right. The way that he says fuck here, I need to add a K here, obviously, but it sounds really great already.
winner is, give it up for Kenta.
Yeah, the K in Kenta.
Kenta.
Actually, Kenta might be also. I might be able to remix Kenta into Canada. There's my Haruhi reference right there. Kenta, Canada. Yumi. He says Yumiya. I might be able to turn the M into an N sound. I always do this. I grab a little too early. Yeah. Oh my god, I love how clean that is. All right. Another idea I had, although it somewhat clashes with the Kaiba quote before, is the winner would be Kenta. The idea of useless, annoying kid winning for no reason is funny to me. But the thing is, he does actually win in this, unless there's something else. Have you ever seen Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law? The show, even 20 years later, is one of the greatest comedy shows ever made and is effectively a YouTube poop in and of itself. I've seen a couple of episodes back when it was on Adult Swim, and see, my jam on Adult Swim, the show I loved the most was Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Just one of those early Adult Swim shows that superimposed the Hanna-Barbera cartoons on top of each other and turned them into something else entirely. Let me just unplug this, man. Overcharging. But I have seen episodes of Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. It is also really funny. Man, the early Adult Swim shows are just an entirely different crop. Hey, Neji, you could have Kaiba say, "I declare this invalid," after the announcer declares the useless Kenta is the winner. Maize is cooking cap. All right. I'm worried I can no longer stay in this house because of. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Well, definitely reach out. I mean, let me tell you right now. There are hotlines that you can touch base with for help. They'll know what to do. They'll know exactly how to help you proceed. So if you're in an environment like that and you know it's not good for you, you don't have to put up with it. And they'll help you to find the courage to take that next step. So Cyber, I really hope that everything goes right for you. I really hope that you do find one of those hotlines. I mean, it's just a simple Google search. In fact, when you search Google, I mean, it should be one of the very first things that pop up. Like, if you're in need of some help, definitely reach out. I cannot stress this enough. And yeah, really hope that you find a good place. Oh man, worried. Yeah, really worried for you. That is really clean. Yeah, absolutely. It was a C-Lab. Yeah, C-Lab 2029, I think it was. I saw a couple of episodes of that. I'm trying to remember. None of them stood out, unfortunately. I think that just Space Goes Coast to Coast, just having this talk show. The episode with Macho Man Randy Savage is incredible. That's a great episode to get started on if you have not seen any Space Goes Coast to Coast. Oh man, so surreal. And the intro theme guitar riff was so clean. Yes. It even employed some 3D animation for some odd reason. Oh man. Yeah, sometimes I just have to play this again and again. Like whenever I make something that's so clean, it's so beautiful, I just keep playing. I get so hung up on it. So we have to couple this to the Kaiba quote.
The winner is, give it up for.
I declare this invalid.
Get the fuck out.
All right, and then let's just clean up the audio pieces. And I don't know, the thing about what I was just talking about, this being 2000s anime, it's really carrying over here because, oh, actually, let me just fix this. I think that it is possible. I wonder if it's possible to do something else with the visuals here. Oops. Not yet. That's just a bummer line. And there's a...
Declare this invalid.
Get the fuck out.
Okay, so it's a static image. So I'm wondering if there's something else that I can do to just add more action here. Oh man. Oh wait, hold the phone. Maybe a callback? I mean, this guy is standing right there in the middle. He's the focus. I mean, you've got all the audience members here in the foreground, and he's right smack dab in the center. I don't know, maybe it's a good reference joke opportunity. Make him my way downtown, cruising on down Main Street. One of those two. Maybe make him my way downtown, considering how recently the video came out. Me and my mom and brother are staying at my sister's house tomorrow for 5 weeks because of the incident. Okay, good. Excellent. Excellent. What's up, Cap? I'm really late. No worries, Mikey B. Glad you can make it. Glad you can make it, Mikey. It's BladeBey on this stream. And like I said earlier in the stream, actually, at the very beginning, we might do something a little different for the next stream. And I'm not going to go into what it is. I did start a brand new source. I'm not, of course, stopping the Beyblade work, but I do want to mix it up here and there. Because if I just have Beyblade week after week after week after week, I worry that's going to get a little bit stale, and I don't want that. I think there is something else that I can do, and I'm working on the first parts of it right now, just so we can, hit the ground running with it. What a great sentence mix. I'm glad you think so, Mike. Now, the big question is... Oh, wait. A rule of threes. Rule of threes joke.
Winner is, give it up for Kenta Yumiya. He now advances to the third round.
Now advances to the third round. Yeah, because Kenta's the winner here. The show opens with him winning a match. And what they don't show is that he lost in the next round. So the winner was always going to be Kenta here. Yeah. You have an idea. Oh, what's your idea, Ethan? Maybe make Jenga suddenly fall asleep at random times. I'm guessing you've watched the episode because he does fall asleep randomly at an early point in the episode. He actually falls asleep twice, if memory serves. Oh god, that is a really good idea, just having him fall asleep. Oh wait, did you mean Kenta or Jinga? Yeah, Jinga, excuse me. Whoops. Jinga falls asleep randomly. I think a great place to have him randomly fall asleep that I can think of off the top of my head is the end of the episode where the main bad guy introduces himself. And, because with these bad guy introductions, you're almost always expecting there to be some kind of, okay, this is the guy I've got to face for the rest of this series, or at least for the rest of this story arc. And him just falling asleep, that's a great gag. Good thinking, Ethan. Hey, Cap, I know you've probably answered this before, but why change your profile pic? Well, first off, thank you so much, Darian Lynn. Why did I change the profile pic? Well, because I just wanted to. I think that... So, I like Brad Kidd. I like the Brad Kidd avatar that I've always had. But I think it was time for a change, especially since the Brad Kidd avatar... I don't know. It doesn't look like me anymore. Back then, I didn't have any facial hair. I just had the long hair, and I shaved regularly so to make a clean shave. And at least the new profile pic has me with some whiskers. And also, I like the goofy animations, the goofy style of the art. And I wanted to also honor its creator. I think that Hot Fried Skadoosh, the person who did that, the person who did it, wonderful, wonderful artist. And it was, it was in his honor. Plus, I just like it's bouncy, it's cartoonish. I like it. I mean, before I had that avatar, this is going way back. My avatar was actually Phoenix Wright. I don't know, just like the way it looked. Make Jinga fart during battle. Oh, maybe that's the way to introduce the Let It Rip. I mean, one thing's for certain. If there's going to be a fart joke, then it's got to be, as somebody says, let it rip. Let it rip. Jingle falling asleep at times where he doesn't usually fall asleep. Yeah, exactly. Accidental Spanish swearing. Oh, yeah, that's right. I think that chinga is also Spanish for fuck, isn't it? Because I hear chinga tu madre, something like that, and it's almost always translated for motherfucker or something like that. The play phrase website should show the take that. I think it might. I'm using a different email where I'm called. Okay, I see. I'll call you Journal from now on, Ethan. Don't worry. I'll call you Journal from now on, Journal. All right, let's do this. We've got a few more things. The idea that you thought of about just having the middle of the arena spinning. See if I can put that into practice right here. Not here. Maybe I could just... This is a great joke to have on top of the BladeBey. It's makes it a little bit more multi-layered. If there's one thing I love, it's layers. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to use my masking tool, create some anchors. This is not going to be a perfect circle. So what I need to do is get as much of this edited as possible. Just get this cleanly here. We might get a little bit of these bars right here. That's all right. I'm not concerned with that. There. As far as I'm concerned, it won't be that big a deal. So now what we need to do is create a negative mask so that what I do here is I spin. Let's see if you can see this right, because the preview window, there's a lot of things on this window right now. If I just spin this, okay, good, but it's not a clean spin. So I need to move this into the center. So let's get the F positioned right. And then I need to make it bigger. Need to make it bigger so that it covers, let's see. I'll need to zoom in a lot, I think. Can this work? Can this work? I mean, worst case scenario, we've cut out the stadium. There's something else that can go inside it, not just a spinning thing. Yep, you read my mind, Journal. Remember your old Q&A video, the clam called my attack. Is there any chance of relisting it? I thought it was. I didn't know it was unlisted. Hang on. Captain 6 answers your questions. I didn't know I had listed it. Let me see here. Oh yeah, it's doing this thing. Don't worry, you're fine here. Is it unlisted? I didn't know it was. Oh wait, I think I know what's going on. There's so much CPU going because YouTube is consuming a lot of CPU, which is, I'm gonna have to see if that video is indeed, yeah. As soon as I leave YouTube, this returns. All right, let's just get out of this window real quick. Save it just to be safe. Or maybe he clearly farts intentionally. Maybe. Random music question. Are you familiar with Ghost? The main story from... the main guy from it did a cover of Sympathy for the Devil that only aired on Swedish TV when I found it immensely pleasing. I have not heard of Ghost. I don't know what kind of genre they are. I mean, if you told me if it was Swedish, my immediate thought would be like, oh, there must be a metal band because up north they always do like dark metal and the like. Any opinion on Alan Becker's stick fight animations? I don't think I've seen a few of them. They're really cool. Assuming, of course, that was Alan Becker's, because stick fight animations in general are pretty slick to watch. It's just simple animation, but the way that the animators make it look really cool, it's really nice. All right, here we go. I need to just make this deformed so we have a little bit more of a chance of making this spin on something of an actual axis here. And how does it look? It looks better. It looks better, but I think that it might be better to just put something else in the middle. So I'm just going to get rid of this edited thing here. Something else in the middle of the arena that replaces the stadium floor. Take off the mask on this version. Oh, what's this? Oh, I still had this set. Delete. There we go. And that means it's set on the parent one too. Let me get rid of that. Bingo. Okay. So, I can't make it spin, but that's all right. Have the announcers say he now advances to nothing, maybe. If he says the word nothing, sentence mixing that's going to be difficult. But let me see what he does say. I sense a potential rule of threes here because what I was just talking about with the making my way downtown, I think that's a perfect third, sort of say. If I can get some other kind of source into... Ooh, wait. Oh, of course. Yes. All right, I think I've got a good idea, but I need to think of something else. All right. Any opinion? Like when he's in the middle of lecturing the villains. Maybe. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, having it fart when he's talking to the bad guys about what it means to be a true blader. That's a good thought. Maybe he says, "Willy Wonka, nothing." You're not wrong, but there's an immense contrast between their intensely dark imagery and the singer's voice. He growls every once in a while, but I don't think the songs are distinctly clean vocally. Well, I've never heard of Ghost. I'm always up for music recommendations. Post a song in the chat and I'll check it out a little later. All right, let me listen one more time to...
Stadium out. The winner is... Give it up for Kenta Yumiya.
Oh, okay.
He now advances to the third round.
All right, there's gotta be some way that I can make a rule of threes joke using the announcer. If I can just get one more of like this style of joke with Kaiba interfering and then the announcer saying something. That'd be great.
That is a stadium out. The winner is, give it up for Kenta Yumi.
Alright. Been away for a while. How's progress been? Pretty darn good. We're still at the beginning of the episode, but that's where we were, intended to be for this. I meant sleeping when lecturing the villains, but farting could be funny too. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, when he's lecturing the villains, he can't really sleep unless he sleep talks or something like that.
He now advances to the third round.
All right. Aw, this totally bites.
At least he didn't call him a Shubi. Okay, let's go back to the original. We've got 15 minutes left. What else? That's the...
Yeah!
This is where it leads off. We see Jinga sleeping on... Or I guess here he's just sitting. Was he like 11 years old here? It's a little bit choppy. That's alright. Let me just give this a second to catch up. I'll say this, it's not as choppy as it was on other streams.
Ready, Beyblade fans, it's time for the quarterfinals. First up, Koji Yamada versus Kenta Yumiya.
It's getting a little choppy now, but that's par for the course.
Ready, set. 3, 2, 1.
Come on, let it rip!
Okay. Then this is the part where they just skip the battle and just go straight to him sleeping. Totally by... Oh, gosh. Gets eaten by a shark. Hang on. If there's one thing I know that there's a green screen for, it's a random shark. Alright. Again, GPU being used up. Let's see. Oh, man. I think that 3 hours is going to be the cap for these streams from here on forth, because it's very apparent that there's only so much that this little thing can handle right now. All right. Green screen shark. Green screen shark. Oops. If we can add a green screen shark, I think that's a good thing. I love sharks. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good shark. Someone recently did a stream on their, I forget it was their Twitch or their YouTube, and they were just, watching YouTube poops randomly, and the Ice Age YouTube poop that I made came up. Excuse me. And the parts that got him the most were the shark parts. And, I think it's just, I don't know, something about sharks, I swear. Seriously misunderstood creatures. Seriously misunderstood. Okay. Get the heck out of YouTube. And go back to this. Because YouTube takes up a lot of CPU, and when I leave YouTube, it comes back. It's a good thing I'm not using Chrome. Firefox for life. Well, the announcer says it's time for the quarterfinals. Maybe change it to quarter pounder. That's another good idea. Man, you're on a roll, Hercules. If there's a way to get the word pounder and turn it into a joke, like quarter pounder, I'm sure. Or the big M for McDonald's logo is on the stadium building. I mean, that's an important add-on for the joke. I mean, that's a great thing. Let's see. I need to get the shark green screen. What was the title? Green screen shark. Very simple green screen shark. It was right there. All right, come on. You can do it. You can do it. It's just giving me this little not responding thing. It always does that, and eventually it catches up. Man. Alright. Green screen shark. This totally bites. Well, you're about to get bitten. The cool part is I can have the shark appear, and when he gobbles him up, I can very easily edit this character right out of this image.
This totally bites.
Because it's just a blue bottom with a black background. Okay, let's get that added. And then add the shark. And this is just a shark that's in general swimming. What I'm thinking is I just add a little bit of animation and make it apparent that he's in the foreground. I'll need to mask him out. So
This totally bites.
does his mouth stay the same? No, it doesn't. Okay. Now I'll need to switch it into best mode to double check to make sure there's no bleeding. I'm pretty sure I can get this mask done before the stream ends, and then the shark gets added. That should be no problem. So let me save this. Get out of DLAM. Go back to Beyblade. I'll just call it bites. Maybe have Chenga dream about something random and weird while sleeping. Dream sequences are always really good. I love the edit in where the edit is sharp knife sentence mixed to shark. She finds the best things to edit, I swear. Like in the recent what's his name? David Attenborough, I think. In the David Attenborough, she edited him to say nuclear fission or something like that. What's your opinion on Gaiba-chan? No offense to you, but he's my all-time favorite. No offense taken. He's a fantastic YouTube pooper. I sure hope he posts his new masterpiece sometime soon. He is fantastic. He has been, like, I think that when it comes to YouTube poops that utilize animation, him, Walrus Guy, Hour of Poop are the best, or among the best. So, no offense taken, he does such a wonderful job, and he also implements a lot of the classic techniques. It's not all just animation and such. He uses a lot of jokes he uses a lot of editing styles, of YouTube poop editing styles that make him so distinct. And that's the thing about a lot of people who use animation in their YouTube poops. They're just animated bits, but he does something on top of that is really, really cool. Alright, that's good. Let's get to the cutting. We got 5 minutes. Let's see if we can make it count. Yeah, I love the guy. Absolutely love the guy. And I love how in every poop he does something Azumanga Daioh related. It's almost like me with Haruhi. Excuse me. There was a YouTube poop he made called Splinter Sells Turtle Scented Candles, something like that. And in it, he at the very end, he mixed Azumanga Daioh with Chad Warden, and I thought it was the funniest thing. Now the thing is that version of the YouTube poop cannot be found on YouTube anymore. I'm pretty sure it got taken down because of something to do with the Chad Warden poop, or the Chad Warden segment. Because in the version that he uploaded to YouTube to replace it, he changed the segment at the end. But I think you can find the original version on Dailymotion or something like that. He's like a Dailymotion account, and he uploaded it there. I love that segment. I just love that segment. It's just an episode of Azumanga Daioh with just Chad Warden and company bits. strode in, and it works. And he even edits in some of the PlayStation controller buttons. I saw an Azumanga Daioh by someone called Liquid Konata. Reminds me of Gaibu-chan in the best way. It's wonderful. I don't think I've seen Liquid Konata's stuff, so that's really good. But Azumanga Daioh is a great source. Because a Beyblade attacks you here, motions to heart. I'll get it. Eat your heart out. That could work as a sentence mix, but I wonder if there's something else that could be done. The Chad Ward and Daioh, yeah, the Chad Ward and Daioh bit is quite possibly the best YouTube poop ever made. It's almost unfair to others how freaking funny it is. It's just a shame that it's not on YouTube. You have to go to a different site to view it. Maybe someone re-uploaded it on YouTube, just crediting Gaibu-chan. It's possible. I've seen that before. Okay, we got 4 minutes left. We're about quarter of the way through this. Let's see here. Quarter of the way through, and we just need to make these little edits right here. The legs, pretty simple, straightforward. You don't need to do much with those because it's usually just straight lines. Going back here. By the way, there was a discussion about, editing software. I mean, the more advanced editing software is going to allow you to do things just like this, to be able to cut out images from another image or from a video, and even edit the cut as you need to. And I know that other software does this, but I like the way that Vegas does it. And I'm sure that there are some really, really, really good pieces of software out there that if you don't find Vegas to be your cup of tea, you would really, you can still get some, you can really get some good mileage out of some other pieces of software. Like I mentioned, there's some free stuff online. What software do we use? Vegas. Sony Vegas Pro. Well, not Sony Vegas Pro. It's now Magic's Vegas Pro. But it's the Vegas Pro 16 version. I really want to make a YouTube poop after 15 years of loving it. Well, you don't have to shell out for Vegas. Again, there's all sorts of free software online. Keep in mind, like, for example, like Photopea is the free version of Photoshop. It's browser-based, and it is just about the same thing. So if you know Photopea, then it's going to be very easy, or if you know Photoshop, then it's very easy to learn Photopea. And even if you don't know how Photoshop works, if you're not tuned to anything in the Adobe suite, you can still find all sorts of tutorial videos that show you how easy it is to do something in it. I think I'm just going to shortcut here. Yeah, it's all the same. Remember, we're just having him get eaten by a shark. So that works with me. Debating screwing with Azumanga myself. I don't know if we could stand up to others' efforts, though. Don't worry about standing up to other efforts. Just focus on having fun. Oh gosh, 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm going to make this my last edit. I'm just going to close this loop and then work on the shark at a different time. And let's just finish. Let's just round off. I started with the head. Let's end with the head. This guy's got hair as wild as Jinka. Here we go. And let's just get a little bit more, just a little bit more. It's 10 o'clock and time. I need to make one quick edit to make the mask a lot cleaner. Just get, there we go. Perfect. Just want to mask him out. Bam! Perfect. I like it. He'll never know what hit him. See what I got here, Jinky. You need to thank me. Donut. You need to thank. Okay. I tell you, Journal. I think you've got to start making YouTube poops yourself. I mean, a lot of these ideas, I want to see how you do them in practice as well. Still, all right. Before you go, can you have you played Dying Light? I have not played Dying Light. I'm actually trying to take it easy on the video games until I get, because there's so many video games I've got to play. I haven't even started Tears of the Kingdom. I want to play that next, but I just know once I start, I'm going to get hooked, and that's going to pull me away for such a long time, and I don't want that. But do you like his hair or Jenga's more? Easily Jenga's. I mean, Jenga's is orange. Orange is my favorite color. All right, we'll put a stop to things for right now, and pick up where we leave off at a different time. Now, like I said, I'm debating whether to switch it up next week. I have an idea for what I would want to do for next week's stream, and I think you're going to love it. And if I can't make it happen, no worries. We'll just continue with Beyblade. But either way, I'd love for you to be on next week's stream. It's going to be next Monday, 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Wherever that is for you, be sure to stick around. And thank you so much, all of y'all, for hopping on the stream with me. I love the way that you guys pitch ideas. I love the way that you think. I mean, thinking about how amazing that the most recent poops I've been putting out, the Johnny Lonnie poop, the coffee YouTube poop, a lot of those ideas were yours, and the way that you materialized them and made it happen is so fantastic. Thank you so much for being a part of this wonderful, wonderful thing. Yes, orange is my favorite color too. Nice. Thanks for answering my questions. Please relist that Q&A. Absolutely. I know that for a fact that if I unlist it or something, I know YouTube does this weird thing where it treats it as a brand new video. It happened when I unlisted a few of my other videos, or deprivatized them at least. I don't know why they do this, but either way, this has been a really fun time. Take care. Absolutely. Take care, Hercules. When will you live stream next? Like I said, next Monday. So I'll be doing the stream the exact same time next week. So look forward to that. Mark your calendars, what have you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, y'all. And I'll see you next.